stopping us. Fly without a boarding pass. Couldn't catch me, I'll be moving fast. Call me a shooting star. Let 'em know who you are. Flying up in a bar. Wish on a star. Time to show 'em who's in charge. Call me a shooting star. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Said I might be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then never just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, then never just have to leave. Yeah, shoot, yeah, shoot, yeah, shooting, yeah, shooting shots. Shooting stars.
Didn't even get to cross.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
Hello everyone, how you doing? I'm in America, in Los Angeles, so I'm doing a bit of a solo show because I've literally representing in America, where is it? There it is. I went to the local sports bar and I watched the Spurs game, and I can believe it, but I'm just stunned what I'm seeing on the internet. And I'm shocked what I'm hearing on other YouTube channels. And for me, look, any which way you want to put it, the title of this video is Fake Positivity. For me, that's exactly what it is. And I just don't understand it. I don't get it, people. Look, I'm going to have a chat with you guys for about 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes. And then I'm going to open the chat for people. If you want to come on and just have a chat with me, and just talk Tottenham, you're going to be more than welcome. So I'll put a link in the chat shortly, and then you can jump on. But I just need to talk about a few things that's going on that I'm watching with Spurs at the moment. So let's quickly say hello to you guys. Please like, subscribe, follow the channel. Respect to all of you. Big up to Gaza. Hope you're doing well, my man. We never learn. Big up to you. We've got Finn, Anthony Clark, Tom in the house. How you doing, Tom? Ryan, ARX. We've got Ashes, Like, Rain, Guna Greg, SVAROG, BG, what a name. We've got Ethan in the house, John George, the Barbaric, Disdain, 3SS Sports, Mark Taylor, Norodov, hope you're doing well. Big Tony from Sweden, big up Tony, my man. Top G14, Mike Zappa, legend. That is Mike. Jason G, old school member, big up to you. We've got the Bertie Hotspur, how you doing? Hope you're well. Jimmy Hotspur. We've got Mert. I hope you're doing well, Mert. Danny D, Amit, Seb. Seb's been here for a long, long time as well. Alan, Sue. How you doing, Sue? We've got K. Alexander, Frankfurt Guna, Daily Donna's Diary, Wagwan. What's wrong with our fan base? What's wrong with our fan base? We've got Andy in the house, David, Jason. Big up to you guys. The Bad Nasher. Hope you're doing well too. Daniel, Leave Me. Well, that's a great name, that. Not Daniel Levy, but Daniel Leave Me. Very good. Big up, Lee. Hope you're doing well. Only One Hotspur TV. If you fancy jumping on Only One Hotspur TV, I'll be putting a link in the chat shortly. Just Fly, hope you're doing well. Hars, Stefan, Daniela, Jimmy Hotspur in the house. Mako 80. We've got Rob A. Rum Scully, hope you're doing well. Scott M, if you want to jump on as well. Scott, I'll be putting the link in the chat shortly. London Broil, Enigma 6, and Kudos. Guys, thanks for being here. 200 people in the house already. Big up. So, look, anyone who follows this channel or follows us on social media, you will know that I've had my concerns about what's been going on at the club regarding transfers and owners and rotation of managers for many, many years. You know, I'm Levy out. I've been at the protests. I've done my bit to try and force change. But what has alarmed me the most under this manager, and I said it last season, was if we sign Timo Werner, that's a big red flag. And the reason it's a big red flag is because the patterns of failure that have cost us in the past have been mediocre signings. You're not going to tell me that Vincent Kompany is a better manager than Ange Postecoglou, right? You might be able to argue, look, they may be of a similar level, but Ange has proven himself in Australia, in Asia, in Scotland. He did get us top 5 last season without Harry Kane. So Ange is not a bad manager. But today we got schooled by Bayern Munich at times. So is it because Vincent Kompany is better than Ange? No, it's because Bayern Munich have got quality players, and quality will always shine through. I've banged on about this more than anything. One of my friends from university, his name's Girish, goes by the name of G-Chain. He's been on a couple of our shows. Now, yesterday, or was it today? I can't remember. But he messaged me saying, you've spent over £300 million. You can't say Ange hasn't been backed. And my argument is this. It's not how much we spend. It's how we spend it. And we continue to waste money. Now, a lot of fans disagree with me on this. But quite frankly, I don't care, because every season I've been proven right. Because when we fail to win trophies, when we fail to compete at the highest level, when we choke and don't get top 4, there's a failure of the players on the pitch. Of course, the manager has to do his part. And we are going to get onto Ange, because what I saw today defensively is shocking. It's basics. I'm a coach, and what I'm seeing is basic errors. So the issue about quality players, today you saw what happens when quality players are on the ball and when Spurs players are on the ball. Do Spurs have quality in the team? Of course we do. We've got a couple of quality players, but we continue to buy players that don't cut the levels required for where we want to go. And this is on the club, because they do the same thing under Jose, under Poch, under Redknapp. They're doing it under Ange again. Where Ange is to blame is he's accepting this. He's tolerating this. And his tactics are going to come crashing down because he hasn't got the quality of player to execute what he wants to do. I've actually defended Ange and said, I'm not against his tactics. Defensively, I think he's clueless. I don't think he's naive. I think he's clueless. He doesn't know how to fix it. And he's depending on his coaches to fix it. The problem is his coaches aren't good enough. None of them are of a high pedigree required to fix the defensive frailties at the club. There might be moments where he makes a couple of tactical tweaks and you think, yeah, you see, look, Ange knows what to do. But then we go back to type and we look like a kids' football team defensively. That is on Ange. So I do criticize him because tactically, the way we defend, spitting on my laptop, is not good enough for the level of club that we are, or we pretend to be. The quality that we brought into this club is not good enough, guys. And that's going to be the thing that in the end, I think is going to cost Ange. I like Ange. I like the way he talks with the media. I like the way he comes across. I think he's humble. I think he's a good-hearted man. I've got nothing against him. I've never met him in my life. I don't hate Ange. I like him. I can see what he's trying to do as well in terms of how he wants to play out from the back, how he wants to create overloads in the wide area, how he wants to be more progressive up further up the pitch. But he hasn't got the players to do this consistently. We don't. We have players that can do moments, but not consistent control of the game, consistent dominance, where we don't look like at any moment we're going to get dissected, that the team is just going to pick us off, find the gaps behind the fullbacks, or find that ball down the middle that splits our defenders. Or sorry, not down the middle, over the top that splits our defenders. I watched the Bayern game today, guys, and look, there's some positives there. Kulu looks like he's doing well, but again, it's pre-season. Bergvall, I think, looks like a really good signing. Well done to Daniel Levy. Well done to Lange, Paratici. Well done to Ange for bringing this player in. Yeah, I praise it when I see it. I think he's going to be a very good signing for Spurs. And you know what? Hats off to us for bringing him in. I think he's going to be good for Spurs. But at the same time, you've got Brennan Johnson, you've got Timo Werner, you've got Solomon, you've got Veliz, you've got 65 million on Solanke. It beggars belief. And this is where it's going to go wrong. It's that lack of quality. Vincent Kompany is not this a brilliant, amazing manager that's 10 times better than Ange. But he's inherited some fantastic players at Bayern Munich. And that quality shone through today. Plus Ange's defensive naivety. We don't have that quality. We don't sign that quality. We don't even look to sign that quality. I don't understand. And on the internet, everyone's waxing lyrical. Ange ball this. Archie Gray's amazing. Archie Gray lost the ball 8 times in 45 minutes today. 8 times he lost the ball in 45 minutes. And we're a possession-based football team trying to play it out from the back. He's not ready. Archie Gray is not ready. It's delusional to think that he is. I'm sorry. If you get upset by what I'm saying or you disagree, fine. I will be proven right on this one. I had someone on the internet say to me, you wanted Gift Orban. There's an account called SSW Spurs or SW Spurs. He's got a picture of a white dog. This guy, he's so far up Daniel Levy's colon. You wonder if he's actually Levy's turd. Does Levy go for a poop in the morning and out comes SSW Spurs? He proper came for me. You wanted Gift Orban. What do you know? You're calling out Solanke, but look at Gift Orban. You wanted him. My reply was, I was wrong about Gift Orban. I was wrong about Vicario as well. I called out when we signed Vicario. But I've been right about Werner, Johnson, Richarlison, Veliz, Danjuma, Longley, Spence. I've been right about so many players. I'm going to be right about Solanke. He's not great. His best strength is in the air. We don't cross balls into the box. He's another Richarlison with a bit more technique. He's not the level we need. And when I said that to, Daniel Levy's poop, SSW Spurs, no reply. He doesn't know what to say. Because I said to him, I've been right more times, a hell of a lot more times than I've been wrong. Of course I get things wrong. I'm human. I'm going to get things wrong, of course. But will you acknowledge all the things that I've got right, SSW Spurs? No, you can't do it, because then it makes him look silly and it exposes the agenda he drives. I had a journalist come for me, losing his marbles. And I said to him, but you said we were going to sign Neto. And he went to Chelsea. You said Neto is the player Spurs want. We're in talks and you can see Spurs signing him. Sorry, no. It was Paul O'Keefe, a football agent. He said that. He was live on another channel saying that. He's been quoted saying it. And he went to Chelsea. Why should I listen to you people? Why should I listen to journalists that told me Conor Gallagher is the priority for Spurs? They've spoken with Chelsea. Conor Gallagher's coming to Tottenham. This is the man Tottenham want. He went to Atletico Madrid. We didn't even put in a bid. These are the journalists that I'm supposed to listen to. These are the football agents I'm supposed to listen to. These are the so-called big Twitter accounts that I'm supposed to listen to. They're all wrong. They're always wrong. They get a tiny fraction of things correct because they're not honest. Do you know what they are? Do you know what all this section of our Spurs community is? I'll show you. Fake positivity, guys. No one's saying be negative. No one's saying be pessimistic. I'm just saying be honest. I've praised Daniel Levy on this show just now. I've praised Paratici and Ange for signing Bergvall. I'm praising them. Like, I think he's a good signing. But does that mean I've got to praise Solanke and Johnson and every player that we sign? No, I'm not doing that. Because we always fail. Because we have a lack of quality in the team. Vincent Kompany is not this brilliant manager that's really, really superior to Ange. Yet today, you saw Bayern Munich toy with us. How many times did they put a diagonal ball over our back line to the back post and Bayern Munich were missing sitters? Bayern Munich could have easily smashed us today if they wanted to. Is that because Vincent Kompany's brilliant? No, it's because he's got top players. And we've got Solanke, Veliz, Richarlison, Solomon. This is where it's going to go wrong. Our midfield cannot control a game of football. We cannot boss a game of football. We don't have a number 6 who protects the defense. We don't have a number 6 that can destroy counterattacks. We don't have a number 6 that can pick up the ball, calm it down, slow the play, get control, and dictate the pace of the game. We don't have a player that can dictate the pace of the game in our team in midfield. Nobody can do it. But if we talk about these things, if I say it, Ali Gold loses his mind. Paul O'Keefe loses his mind. Ornsteins, Jacobs, this channel, that channel, Twitter account, this, SSW, Poop, Spurs. They can't handle this conversation, guys. And that's why it's just this fake positivity cartel. Listen, I want Spurs to win everything. I want Spurs to be the Premier League champions, the European champions, to win the double like we did in 61. I want to see us do that. But I'm also realistic. These players are not good enough, man. They're not. As soon as we come up against a good team and a savvy manager, we're going to get absolutely picked off. And you can see it. I had one guy today say to me, and that's another lunatic on the internet, just doesn't think, just copies what everyone else says. If this person says it, or if this YouTube channel says it, let's all say that because that must be true. No, that's not how it works. Independent, critical thinking means take a step back, look at the wider picture, gather the data, and think. What do you see? But they don't do that because that means you've got to put work into it. What they do is, right, what did that Twitter account say? What did that journalist say? What did that YouTuber say? I heard on that podcast. No, that's not how you do it. He said to me today, this Twitter account, it's only a friendly. It's only pre-season. I heard YouTube channels today saying this. It's only pre-season. It's just a friendly. Okay. So if it's just pre-season, if it's only a friendly, stop bigging up Kulusevski, stop bigging up Bergvall, stop bigging up Archie Gray, stop praising all these players as being really good and super exciting. Do you know why? It's only a friendly. It's just pre-season. You see how it works now? But they can't do that because now it crushes their logic, destroys the argument, and it hurts the fake positivity. You can't cherry pick when it suits you to splash this positive energy, but then completely ignore what's going on the other side of the coin. You've got to be consistent, man. If we're going to say it's just pre-season, stop bigging up the players. Stop praising the players because it's just pre-season. If you're going to praise the players, that's fine. Praise them. But then criticize the lack of quality in games where we're being challenged. Criticize the defensive display today, which I'm now going to get onto. Ange Postecoglou is defensively naive as you like. He does not have a clue how to defend. I can see it. I can see how he coaches these players in what I'm watching on the pitch. He's of that mindset. If you've got the ball, we can score. If we've got the ball, they can't score. So keep possession of the ball. That's the best defense. That's fine. Guys, I've got nothing against that. The Johan Cruyff way of thinking, the 70s Ajax way of thinking, the Pep Guardiola way of thinking. I've got nothing against. If you've got the ball, you can score. If you've got the ball, they can't score. The best form of defense is to keep the ball. I've got nothing against that. But then you better sign players that can keep the ball under pressure when someone's pressing you, when someone's trying to tackle you or nudge you off the ball. Archie Gray lost the ball 8 times in 45 minutes. He's a kid. He's going to get a pass. We're going to give him 2-3 years. Stop waxing lyrical about a player that loses the ball 8 times in 45 minutes when the manager's defensive philosophy is to keep possession of the ball. We try and play out from the back, and we are so slow at moving the ball, right? When you coach how to play the ball out from the back, there's 2 things you must do. 1, take minimum touches, 1 or 2 touch, and 3, move it quick. Pop the ball. I remember on the sidelines when I was working with players to play out from the back, I used to say to them, pop, 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 pop it, pop it, pop it. It's a quicker way of saying pass. It's a quick way of saying shift the ball. It's a quick way of saying move that ball, move that ball. I just used to say pop, pop, pop. And we practice the patterns of where the ball should move, where we want it to go, which side of the pitch, when, reading what type of press, if it's a 1-man press, 2-man, 3-man, 4-man, all-man press, how do we break through that? When do we go long and wide or long down the middle and the centre half drops, receives on the halfway line, turns, feeds in the wide players? There's many ways to play out from the back. But what Spurs don't do is this. They don't move it quickly enough. The decision-making is so slow. You've got to move it quicker. That's how you beat a press. The press is coming on quick. You've got to be just as quick. And we're slow. And then we make mistakes and then we get caught. So, Ange, if you're going to play this football, you need players that can play quick. The second thing you need is technically gifted players that receive the ball and don't lose possession because the first touch is mint and the second touch is just as good. If the first and second touch can be combined into one touch, then we play one-touch football. But then you need intelligent players that know where they are on the pitch, where the opposition is on the pitch, the geography of the pitch in relation to what position they're playing, and what spaces are available around them so they can buy themselves some time should they need to shift into that space. We don't have lots of intelligent players. That's why I like Bergvall. I think he's intelligent. I think he's got instinct and he plays on it. That's why I like him. You know, I've praised him a fair bit on this show today. I think, honestly, I've got an eye for it. This is a player with the brain and the technical. We don't have enough players like that. We're too slow. And technically, we're not there. So the philosophy of let's keep the ball as our primary tool of defense, it's not going to work, man. It's not going to work. Against the weak teams, it'll work. Against the mid-table teams, if they're tactically savvy, they'll pick us off, just like Fulham did, just like Wolves did last season. The mid-table teams picked us off because tactically they were savvier. Against the top half teams, boy. Against the top half teams, I tell you, we could be in for a long season like this. Set pieces, it's clear to me we must hire a set piece coach that has full control of how we defend corners, free kicks, and any ball that comes into the box during an open phase of play. So if there's a ball that just gets crossed in from a counter attack or the other team have got possession, we need someone that can teach our players how to defend this, because the gaps that we leave at the back post is suicidal, man. And we get caught high up as well. This is something we all spoke about last season. The reality is, what I'm watching from Spurs now is no different to last season. We look good in the transition at times. We look good in phases of play where for 10, 15 minutes we look on top. And then we look shambolic when we get caught on the halfway line and we don't know how to defend balls into the box or free kicks. It's just our goalkeeper can't command it, by the way. I'm telling you now, Vicario cannot command his box and tell players where he wants. And I don't know whether that's because he hasn't got that authority or whether the players have been told to do something else. I don't know. I need to be on the training ground to know the answer to that one. But the way we're hyping it up, the way we're really getting behind it as if something special is happening, listen, it's fake positivity. And they don't want to hear it. We haven't signed the players we needed. We needed a really good striker. We needed a really good wide dribbler that can play in the forward three. We haven't signed him. A lot of fans say we need a number 6. We do, but we need an Ange number 6, which isn't your traditional defensive mid. We need a hybrid 6/8. Why do I say that? We need someone that can be defensively savvy and know how to break up a counter-attack and to protect the back too, but he can't be high up the pitch. He can't be on the edge of the box the way Ange likes to invert everyone. He can't do that. He's going to have to drop deeper. And secondly, why I say he's got to be a hybrid 8, we need someone that can get on the ball and control the tempo of the game. Sometimes he's got to speed it up. Sometimes slow it down, stabilize. So we need a 6/8. I really like Manu Kone at Borussia Mönchengladbach. I think he's the ideal Ange type 6 for the system Ange wants to play. I don't know what we're going to do. We've got rid of Højbjerg. We've got Skip and Basuma. If you think Archie Gray is the answer, forget it, man. Your head's gone. You're with the fairies. You're hoping more than you are actually using your intelligence to think. So I just think right now we're in this paralysis of fake positivity, guys, and it kills me. It absolutely kills me because we're going to get sucked in again as a fan base. Levy's going to pull everyone's pants down, and then Andrew's going to be flip-flopping his words and going back on things he said, and he's going to end up looking like an idiot. And I like Ange. I actually like the guy. But I said this when we signed Timo Werner. When we first signed him, I told everyone, red flag, alarm bells. This is a sign of things to come. We're not going to sign the quality. Until we start signing quality, things have not changed at Spurs. It's the same broken formula. It's the same miscalculated, misguided, let's just throw money at silliness, not carefully thought out quality players that take the levels up. Just look at this, right? Look at this. These are our record signings. Not one of them, not a single player on the screen right now gets into any of our rivals. Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. Would Chelsea sign any of these guys? I mean, Chelsea got rid of Solanke. Would Newcastle sign any of these players? Man United? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't, guys. Not in a million years. Solanke, 65 million. Because he had one good season. Ndombele, disaster. Richarlison, shocking. Technically inept. He's called a pigeon. And Brennan Johnson. I mean, and you know what? Between all of them, against the top 10 teams, their goal scoring record and the amount of assists they get is shocking. between 80 to 75% of games against the top 10. Kulu goes missing. Solanke goes missing. Brennan Johnson goes missing. Turbo Wiener goes missing. Richarlison goes missing. And guess what? We pay £65 million for these players. Yay! But if we speak about this, if we have an honest conversation about this, guys, by the way, there's almost 500 people watching. Respect to all of you guys. Lots of love from me to you. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, tell your friends and family, and warn your neighbours that you're going to be shouting at your TV screen a lot this season. But can you see the way we mismanage money? We sold one of the best strikers the Premier League and our club has ever seen, Harry Kane, right? We sold it. Do you know, he refused to pick up a trophy today that was awarded because Bayern beat us out of respect to the Spurs fans. And you know what? He's a humble guy, man. I will never have a bad word to say about him other than he should have left Spurs earlier and shown more ambition personally for his own career. But okay. But we sold this guy for 100 million. And what does the attacking lineup now look since we've got rid of Kane? We've got Brenda and Turbo. We've got El Pigeon. Solanke. And you ready? Oh, Veliz. Do you remember him? Yay, Veliz. You can't write it. 13 million, 65 million, 60 million, £8 million loan deal. Brennan Johnson, 47 million. Guys, we've spunked over £200 million on a new lineup, an attacking lineup. And they're shit. They're not good. They're bang average. And then when we fail to get top four, when we fail to win trophies, oh, it's the manager's fault. Oh, these players, they're deadwood. But you were praising them when we signed them. Now you're calling them deadwood. They were deadwood to begin with. The manager's a yes man. We've told everyone. Anyway, look, I haven't seen any changes at the club. If you have, good for you. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you get behind it. Do what you got to do. Me, I will always back my team. I will never back the regime. I will praise when I see things that are good, and I will criticize when I know this just stinks and there's alarm bells going off. And I'm telling you, there's alarm bells going off. And if people don't want to highlight it and they don't want to talk about it, then nothing changes. If you just want to be positive and you just want to be optimistic and ignore the facts that these players have never performed at a high level against the top 10 teams, if you just want to ignore these things, that's fine. But please, don't have a go at fans like me don't come for me on the internet, because I will fire back. Don't come for me because I told you. And I'll leave you with this before I open the chat to everyone else to come on and have their say. I've been right for over a decade that we're not winning anything. And I'm proven right every season. And I put it down to one thing and one thing only. We do not sign the caliber of player required to compete at the level we want to be at. We sign some players that meet those requirements, the Van der Vens, the Romeros, and so on. But in general, we don't do it. And what happens is the good players end up leaving because they're surrounded by inadequate talent. The good players end up leaving because we don't win trophies and they're wasting their careers. And this is the cycle that we're stuck in. So by signing Solankes and Beliz and Solomons, you are not going to impress the good players. Eventually, they will leave. Just like Kane, just like Eriksson, Carrick, Berbatov, Modric, Kyle Walker. The best players always leave us because we don't build a team of a level that can compete and match the levels of the quality that we do have at the club. Because we do have some quality, guys. We do. That's why we finished 5th, not 8th. We do have quality at the club, but not enough. So that's where I'm at, guys. And if Ange wants to accept this and tell the world we're going to challenge for the league, mate, it's who we are, mate. Brilliant. Show me, egg on my face, humiliate me, embarrass me, do it. I would love for you to do that. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Just look at what we've signed. It's deluded, right? Anyway, let's quickly put a link in the chat so you guys can jump on and join. So, sorry guys, beg your pardon. Just sorting this out. Right, there's a link at the bottom of the screen. I'll put one in the chat as well. If you want to jump on, guys, make sure you've got your camera on and you've got headphones. If you do have a mic, turn it on as well, because it's better for the audio, right? So I've just put a link in the chat. If you want to jump on, love to hear you have your say. If you totally disagree with me, you're welcome to come on. If you agree with me, come and tell me why you agree. Let's go through a few of your messages in the chat, because there's quite a lot as well. So Barbaric says, when Solanke said he wanted to be here because the club has ambition, I can't back him after that bullshit. I mean, it's just a go-to thing to say to like rally the troops, isn't it? Just say something really energetic and super hype. Glasner or the Bournemouth manager will be the next Spurs manager. But Lee, what does it matter? What does it matter if we're still going to sign the kind of players that we sign? I mean, look, in the sense of defensively, we'll be far more pragmatic and we'll be far more savvy. Yeah. Because we don't have that balance, do we? We're just attack and defense will sort itself out. No, it won't. It's not how it works. So in that sense, I can see what you think. DB says, I love this content. Some real talk at last. Sick of all the other BS merchants. Listen, all I say is this. Everyone's allowed to have their views and opinions, but once upon a time, people had the opinion that the moon was made of cheese. How did that work out for them? And I'll leave it there. And Kit, as Spurs fans, we have the lowest moments of joy. Cups is not even something we can think of. So we are supporting our team game-wise. What else can we do? The club does nothing. Well, what we can do is protest and stand up to the ownership. But too many fan channels, YouTube channels, they're against it. So it's just we just got to do what we keep on doing, guys, and just hope one day the tide turns and we will be here for it. We will definitely be here. We never learn. Says, foresee how this plays out. I want to see how far down the rabbit hole fans willing to go. It's been 25 years. How much more do you want to see? John George says, Veliz to Tottenham 13 million, Alvarez to Man City 14 million. Yeah, I mean, that just sums up the scouting at Spurs, doesn't it? Veliz out on loan again. I told everyone Veliz isn't going to play this season. Do you know, there were Twitter trolls weeks ago saying to me, look at Veliz. He's in Angie's plans. You just hate the club. You can't see it. I said, I can see it. I've been coaching in football. I've been a scout for pro academy clubs. Veliz is not going to be here next season. And look what happened. But, you know, we can't say these things because people just lose they lose the plot. Alvarez being sold for 81 million. I mean, so that's a Levy dream right there, isn't it? Maybe Levy thought he was going to do that with Veliz. Capone 79 says, Manu Kone, I agree. What a player he would be for us, man. Honestly. Really good player. Yeah, Bale as well. We've got another one we sold. Aneta says, said for weeks, Ange is getting sacked. Ultimately, Enoch's fault. Our recruitment team is useless. Do you think it's because of wages? Because we got rid of Lloris, Kane, Ndombele, and Perisic. They were the 4 highest earners at the club, or definitely in the top 5 highest earners, because I'm assuming Son's in there as well. We've got them off the wage bill. So now we're signing players because the wages are low as well. I don't know how much Solanke is worth, but so I don't know how much Solanke is being paid in wages, but I bet it's not a lot. In fact, Grumpy Bugger says it as well, down 2 wages. We've got a guest here. Let's bring him on. Respect to you, brother. Rin Ketik.
Hello, Style. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me well? Or
yes. Maybe speak a little bit louder, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay, sorry. So I just want to say, like, for me, like, for example, I love Manu Kone from Gladbach. But for me, like, example, the issue with Spurs right now is not like about the spending money thing. It's about where we spend the money. Like, I don't know if you know him, but I love, for example, Luka Suchek, the guy that worked at Salzburg. He went to what are called Real Sociedad for like 10-15 million. And I'd rather have him than a lot of our current like midfielders.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey,
And
mate.
I also have I have a question for you actually. Manu
Yeah.
Kone, he's quite injury prone. Would you like, if we get him, would you also maybe try to get someone like a Matthew O'Reilly or something like that as well, or you wanna try to play
Yeah, so-
Bizuma or
So I
sign
saw
whoever?
no. I totally agree with you. I think we should sign Matt O'Reilly as well. I think we spoke about Matt O'Reilly last week, but I think is it West Ham or another club?
Brighton, Southampton, Chelsea. Everyone is linked with him.
Someone's got in for him. I think another club's trying to get him right now. Is it Newcastle? Is it Newcastle or?
I've seen Brighton and Southampton and Chelsea.
Okay, so there's clubs already linked to him. I mean, again, journalists, I don't believe anything until the player's signed. But I would definitely be happy with Matt O'Reilly at Spurs. I think he's better than what we've got at the moment in that position. But for me, what I like about Manu Kone is he's a hybrid 6 and 8. He can play that role that Ange needs. Ange doesn't need just a number 6 because the way we play, we need a bit more than that. So that's why I like Manu Kone. But yeah, look, with injuries, it's a difficult one because then we wouldn't have signed Maddison. He's injury prone.
Yep.
We wouldn't have all got really excited talking about, oh, we need Neto. Neto's the perfect player for Tottenham. And then everyone gets angry when Neto goes to Chelsea. Well, hold on. He's injury prone. So I think any player with an injury record that's not good is always going to be a risk. But you hope that maybe playing with us, it's not going to be as much of an issue. So let me get the other guys in to speak as well. We've got a few guys here. 6-yard box, where are you? Yeah, you're on mute, my man. You're on mute. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, mate.
All right.
Yeah, what did you want to say?
Basically, I think for me, it's I think we have to look at things. We have to look at things more broadly. For me, I think we got to look at the way the club is run. For us as fans to believe the way, Daniel Levy, one thing about him, he's not going to change the way he runs the club. He's never going to do that. He's never going to change it. So if we want to make a change, then we should all just go out there and protest against him and get rid of him and get him out.
We've tried that. It doesn't work.
Exactly.
We've tried that.
So we are where we are now. What we've got now is a manager that comes in. He has a way of playing his football. There's risk with it. He needs top players to be able to play that way. We are never going to sign those top players. We are going to buy players that are potential. And then this manager, the whole idea is for him to work with these players and get them to where we want them to be. So in terms of friendlies and all that, I don't know why people are getting all crazy about friendlies. They, it's the end of the world. If we beat Bayern today and we lose against Leicester, people will be crying. So it means nothing. The friendly means nothing. For me, anyway, the way I look at it, it's all about giving players minutes, playing your system. The way we play is so difficult for players that are not used to that way of playing. Players take a lot of risk with the ball. They play out from the back every single time. If a player plays out from the back 80% of the time, what do you think?
6-yard box. Can I ask you a question? I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
From what you saw last season to what you're seeing now in pre-season, have you seen a change? Have you seen anything different that excites you? Have you seen anything that, in your opinion, we can get behind and say, do you know what, this is going in the right direction? Or do you see?
For me, last season is gone. There's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, but I'm asking you to compare it. I'm asking you to compare from last season to what you're seeing in pre-season. Do you see a difference?
Like I said, I can't judge pre-season. The reason why I can't judge pre-season is that you're trying new players. One thing about the pre-season, as well, if you notice, all the players that come into that system, they play the same way. Even the young players, they come in and play the same way. But they're young, they're inexperienced. Some of them is their first tour. So we can't judge that pre-season. Players get fit at different times. Our first 11, our back four, apart from Pedro Porro, None of our back four played in that preseason. So we can't judge that preseason. From the first game of the season against Leicester, that's when you want to say, oh, you know what? We are still conceding goals from the back post. We are not defending properly. And even from that from that game against Leicester as well, we need to look at it and say, okay, let's give it 5-10 games into the season. If we're still making the same mistake, these players might never be good enough. Some of them might never be good enough, and that's what Andy's trying to do. They might not fit into this system. So what he's going to do is going to try and get rid of some of them that won't fit into this system. It's going to take time. It's a process. The time, there's no time on it. You can say, okay, 3 years. It might not even work out in 3 years' time. But all you can do.
So if we go by what you've said, right, then we shouldn't judge.
No, I'm not saying you shouldn't judge. You should judge, but you judge.
No, hold on. One second. 1 minute. 6 box. You're saying to me, preseason doesn't matter. Wait till the first game against Leicester before we talk about it. So then, if we're going to apply that logic, then we can't judge any player right now because it's only preseason. Because on the internet, there's people having a go at me personally saying, who cares about this game? It's only preseason. I'm saying, fine. If we're not going to talk about the tactics and how we're playing out from the back, how we defend things incorrectly, if we're not going to talk about that, fine. I'm okay to do that. But can we stop praising players and making out this? I know you're not. I know you're not. That's what I'm saying. So then is it fair that we shouldn't praise any player?
Of course.
We're not gonna. Okay, all right, that's fair. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Of course, because it means nothing. It means if we play Bayern today and blow them out, beat them 5-0, and we lose against Leicester, it means nothing. The only players we can maybe praise are the young guys coming into the team for the first time, like Bergvall. All those kind of players. They're young, first preseason. The way they play. Even Udoji was talking the other day about the system, that this is one of the most difficult systems he's ever played in. And he's coping, he's adjusting as well. So we can't keep one thing I don't like. I know people do, everybody. I don't. One thing I don't like is when fans go game by game, praising and criticizing players game by game. And when I'm not saying you shouldn't criticize players, but when you say something like, "Oh, because he's had a bad game, he's rubbish, it's not good for Tottenham," at least get like a sample size of it. The player might not even be good for Tottenham. It might not be. And this is what the manager is trying to find out. He's trying to find out players that can play in his system. And people keep saying, oh, he used to coach in Scotland. Yeah, it's different. Yeah, fair, it's different. He has to have a plan B. And I'm saying, why is he going to change plan A when the players have not even learned how to play this system properly? First season. He has to make sure we do plan A
because properly. It's his job to win games. 6 yard box. It's his job to win games. He gets paid. No, hold on. He gets paid £2-3 million a year to win games. So if he's losing games, he needs to adjust because it means either the players don't get what he's doing, or other teams have sussed us out and they know how to beat us. Even Pep adjusts. Even Klopp slightly adjusted. Do you remember when Harry Kane got injured? Do you remember when Harry Kane got injured in the Champions League and Poch adjusted it and he went with two up top with Moura and Son and got us to right? That's what managers are paid to do. So to say no, just plan A, but no, if we haven't even got this is your job.
But he might. You said it. You said something earlier before I came on. You said we are going to see him play a different way. I'm not sure whether that's what you were talking about. I never said that. Okay, I thought maybe I was listening. Maybe I didn't get you. But what I think is going to happen is like he's going to learn eventually. Okay, this is the way I have to play against top teams, and he's going to adjust. We can't judge him on first season because when you're trying something new, you don't want to be changing the player's mind.
We just played exactly the same way against Bayern Munich.
But it's a friendly.
But isn't
it's a friendly match? He can't.
So isn't the friendly the time to do these things? Not when you're playing for points or cup games.
Yeah, but what he's saying is like, if you listen to when he talks, he says we are going to be inconsistent because I'm trying to teach these players how to play a certain level, a certain way of playing. So the players are going to be inconsistent. They're not going to win every game, and they're not going to play well in every game. And if you look at today's game,
but we lost to Fulham. We lost to Wolves. We got battered by Brighton, teams that were mid-table. You shouldn't be losing like that to those teams.
But if you want to look at it like that, if you want to look at it like that, Manchester City lost to some Wolves, some rubbish teams. So
but they won the Premier League. But they won the Premier League. They won the biggest trophy. They won the biggest trophy in England. Don't use Man City as your example.
But what I'm saying, okay, I'm not going to use Man City. Arsenal lost to, I don't know who they lost to, but you can't. The stage we are in now, we're going to get this kind of results, whether we like it or not. We're going to get inconsistency. The stage that we are playing in now. So we just got to give it a bit more time.
I hear your point. I hear your point. I want to bring in Tommy because he hasn't spoken yet, and I'll bring you back in, Rinkatic, in just a minute. Tommy, thanks for joining, man. Feel free to have your say, whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, sorry, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Just about. Yeah.
I cannot believe that we have paid 65 million quid for a striker that in any league in Europe we could have found a better player cheaper.
Look, I think most Spurs fans, if they're honest, they agree that we've overpaid. I think most Spurs fans think that £65 million, he's basically a club record signing, is bonkers. Normally, when you have a club record signing, you've bought someone who's oven ready, world renowned, or at least renowned across Europe. Solanke's a gamble. Let's be honest; it's a big gamble. He might turn out to be good and surprise everyone, or actually prove all the people that.
I think he's got to score at least 25 goals next season, and against the big teams as well.
Yeah, I agree. If he does that, then he's worth the money. I agree.
Yeah.
No, so that's yeah. I mean, who would you have preferred a striker then? If we never bought Solanke, who would you have liked us to have signed instead?
A Pendy would have been good. A Pendy could have been a good player. Jonathan David starts to been magic in France, and we could have got him for a third of the price.
See, I'll be honest with you. I actually don't know what striker we should bring in. I'm being honest. I actually don't know. But for 65 million, I expect something special, and I don't think Solanke's that. I mean, his biggest strength is in the air. We don't cross balls into the box.
Having said that, the way Ange does set up,
let me bring in.
He should get 25 goals next season.
Well, listen, we're going to wait and see. Let's see who even starts in that position, because now he's got 2 or 3 options. Thomas, welcome to the show, my man. I think you're on mute. You need to unmute yourself if you're not frozen. Oh, wow. You've got worse Wi-Fi than me. That's special. No one's got worse Wi-Fi than me. Yeah, Thomas, I think you're frozen, man. No, he's frozen. Stefan and Hazel, you're in the background, but you've got no camera. I'm not bringing you on without a camera. Sorry, guys, but we've had too many people come on and show their body parts randomly, so I'm not having that again. Yeah, Rinkatic, I think you wanted to say something.
This might be my last question, but I wanna. Sorry, Tommy, this is kinda towards you because you said Openda. I don't wanna call out people, but here's the thing: people always talk about this big Ange system or whatever you wanna call it, but we have seen in the Ange system, people don't really have space. A player, for example, like Openda, he loves space. If we look at Leipzig, he makes runs and runs. While at Spurs, we would give him 2 meters. And the thing is, I'm happy we didn't get Openda because, it's kind of when we got Soldado, right? He likes to play with another guy beside him. And so for once, I feel like Openda wasn't the thing. And I'm not saying Solanke is better, but I feel like Solanke would fit this system a bit better.
We could have afforded Osimhen. We could have easily afforded Osimhen.
For example,
we're not Osimhen. Osimhen's over £100 million, and he's not going to come to Spurs. Osimhen is.
But wouldn't the be the same with Openda, though, to be honest. Because if I'm Openda right now, I'll be looking at my left, that's Xavi Simons. And beside me, that's Benjamin Šeško. And to my right, I got Baumgartner. Would I leave Leipzig, who has won like 3 trophies in 3 years, to come to Spurs to play with like Kulusevski and okay, Son is quality, but the rest.
Do you know what I would have liked Spurs to have done? Because I think there's a striker shortage in the world. I mean, ideally, what we should have done is this 50 million on Johnson, 65 million Richarlison, 65 million Solanke. We should have spent that money when Harry Kane was at the club and bought quality players around him, right? That was, that's the smart thing to do.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
what now there's no strikers, there's a lack of strikers. What I would have done is try to buy forward attacking wide players that have got goals in them and assists and spent the money there to basically do what Liverpool did, because Salah was never a striker. He was a wide forward type attacker. So was Mane.
Yep.
So was Firmino. But then Klopp turned them into a trio of attackers that Firmino would drop, receive the ball, Mane and Salah would go, and then Firmino would feed them in. Sometimes Firmino popped up with goals as well. Between them, they scored like 50, 60 goals in the season. So I'd rather than buy one player like Haaland who gets you 25, 30, 40 goals a season, buy 3 players that between them can get you 50, 60 goals. So if one gets 15, one gets 14, one gets 18. And then for me, that would have been the right strategy, I think, because there's no strikers out there.
7 wingers we've got at the club just now.
Yeah, I mean, we've got none of them are good.
Good.
Guys, what do you think of Bergvall? By the way, I think Bergvall looks like a really good signing for Spurs. What do you make of him?
He's
Bergvall
He's clutch. You can't say that yet.
He's
You
top.
can't say that yet.
Brilliant.
He's only 18 as well. He was only 18. He's only 18.
He's
He's only going to
young,
get better. Only going to get better.
When I seen
But
Bergvall, I knew we weren't getting Eze. When I seen Bergvall, I knew we weren't going for Eze.
Yeah.
Though, I'm just going to say this because I watched him in real life twice, and there were one game when he actually went missing.
And I think Archie Gray will start with Basuma as well this season.
Archie Gray lost the ball 8 times today in one half.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna get that with
That's
those
worse
players.
than Basuma.
You're gonna get that with those players, though. Players that want to pass the ball forward, take on people, take risk. They're gonna lose the ball. That's normal. You know, it's easy passing it sideways and backwards. That's easy, man. You could have 50. You could have 100% accurate passes just passing it sideways. But when you pass it forward, or you're trying to take on people, when he came on today, actually, this is the first time I've seen him play for Tottenham. When he came on and he played on that right, he was going past people he was going past people like nice little dribbles, but he's going to lose the ball. He's going to lose the ball, and that's not even his position according to these fans. Apparently, they said he plays in midfield.
I think that's the first time in his career, though, he's came up against that quality.
Exactly. Okay, so that should be put into consideration as well. So,
I just think Archie Gray is not ready yet. I think he's got all the signs of being a good player, but is he Premier League ready? I think there's moments where maybe he can show us he can handle it, but I think as a starter that bosses the position and commands the role, I don't think he's ready yet. I don't. Bergvall, I think he's ready.
Ready?
I would actually start Bergvall on the forward right position, or
as a 10, as one of the 2 10s
ahead of what we've got.
Okay, I don't think he's going to start
ahead of what we've got as well. I mean, actually, I think Bergvall's an attacking midfielder. I'd be rather play him there.
Yeah. I don't think he's going to start though. I don't think he will start. I don't
know, man. I think Ange might surprise us. I think Bergvall's impressed.
Yeah,
I think he's and listen, Leicester City is the perfect game to do it because it's not a tough game. Can't underestimate them, but it's not like first game Newcastle, Arsenal, United. It's a good taster for him as well.
Don't say it's a nice easy game.
Nothing easy at Spurs. Nothing is easy.
Nothing is easy. Don't say it's a nice easy game because. But we're not gonna win. I don't think we're gonna buy Premiership ready players. I don't think with the way the club is being run. I don't think we're gonna. I think we're gonna go the route of buying players like Dele Alli. When Dele Alli came, nobody expected Dele to start. Everybody was thinking, it's not ready. It's not ready. But Archie Gray, he's played a lot of games in the Championship as well. So he's got that experience of
No,
playing
what's
with
our
men.
net spend been so far? 70, 80 million.
What with Ange?
For this
Well,
transfer.
I know since Ange has come in, we've spent something between 300 to
100,
350
is
million.
it 100, 300 million?
Not net,
Spend
no,
it
sorry,
on
not net spend, but the amount we've invested in players is
players.
between
Right.
300 to
I'm
350
just
million.
talking
We've-
just about
listen,
this window.
no manager at Spurs in the first season has had this kind of financial support. Nobody. And I don't think we've actually spent it well. I think we've signed.
Neither do I.
I think half the signings have been good, like the Van der Vens, Udogis, Bergvalls, etc. But I think there's a lot of crap we've brought in, like the Werners, the Johnsons, the Solankis. I'm not convinced by Solomons. Do you know what? We haven't bought like a player that can control the midfield. There's no one that can control the tempo of the game. We haven't replaced Moussa Dembele or Modric. We haven't bought that kind of a player or Eriksen that gets on the ball. Like, let me control it. I don't think Madison can do it.
Could that be
Bentancur,
Bergwall, though?
Yeah.
No.
I think,
a bit too young maybe
No.
to boss the game.
And he never did it in the Swedish league either.
And it's his
I don't think he's that
Swedish
player.
as well. I know.
I don't think he's
suppose
that
you've got to
player.
take that into consideration.
but do you
It's
think
like
the way Ange plays, he needs that kind of a player to sit on the ball and spray passes around? I think he wants players that are runners in midfield, box to box. That's what he wants.
Yeah, but there's times 6-yard box when. So like a lot of Spurs fans say, we need number 6, we need number 6, right? The way we play, a number 6 isn't the traditional Victor Wanyama holding mid. It's not that kind of player. We need half Basuma, half Højbjerg in one, but obviously better. Someone that can do the dirty block, defend, protect, but can get on the ball and control the speed of the game. Because sometimes we just got to slow it down and get some stability. Other times, up the tempo. Right, this is too slow. Let's move. Let's go at them. We haven't. See, Moussa Dembele used to do that. He used to play that kind of role. We don't really have anyone like that. And I think Ange's system's crying out for it.
I never miss Dembele.
What would you mind Mats Bidstrup, the guy at Salzburg?
Stabitzer.
Mats Bidstrup,
No.
the guy,
Oh,
the
right.
CM
I'll be honest with
guy
you,
at Salzburg.
I haven't seen enough to tell you. I don't want to.
Okay.
Don't want to.
Yeah.
Manu Kone is the one I like. Even Zubamendi,
Yeah.
Zubamendi, I thought he's going Liverpool now, but I thought that would have been a good player for Spurs.
I think Ange is just trying to build a team, and in this process, he's going to find out who's going to fit in and who won't fit in. So it's a case of just bringing in.
But when you spend £350 million, you can't do that, man. You can't spend £300 million and then I wonder if they work.
But it doesn't work that way, though. It doesn't work that way, though.
That's what you're saying. But that's what you're saying.
The money you spend is irrelevant sometimes, because you think, okay, I'm getting this player. I'm going to see how much we spend on strikers in the past. Top number 9. We spend a lot of money on strikers.
We can't do that. We can't do that.
All of them has been rubbish.
We cuss Arteta.
Apart from
Arteta for spending £700 million and winning nothing.
He had 4 years, though. He had 4 years, though. Arteta had 4 years.
No, hold on. You said money's irrelevant. You never said time, right? So we can't say Arteta spent £700 million. You're in the mud. You don't win anything. Then we spend £350.
No. But I never said
money's irrelevant. It doesn't make money's irrelevant.
No. I never said that. What I'm trying to say is, like, you're gonna sign players, yeah, and some of it you get right, some of it you get wrong. But if you think every time you spend a lot of money, this is a player that's going to make it, it's going to be good for your system or your club, then that might never happen. It will never. It might never happen. It might happen. Might never. It might take a long time before it happens. So, I think even City, they've spent a lot of money buying.
Still, do you think we'll take in one more?
Yeah, I think Spurs will sign one more player.
Yeah.
I think two more probably.
I'm not expecting anything big though. I mean,
me too. No,
40 million Archie Gray, 65
in
Solanke. That's the big spending done, man. I think we're going to end up signing some random.
I don't know.
Just something left field, something odd.
We might get a
Don't
player
forget,
that surprises them.
we got the Korean boy coming in January as well. Yang.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, he might be.
As well.
He might be the one. He could be the one that's going to blow up like Son. When Son came, he came from. I never heard of Son when he came to
Son
Tottenham.
came from Leverkusen, though.
Yeah, exactly. But I've never heard of him. I've never watched
Son
him
had
play.
good Bundesliga experience before he came to us.
Son grew up in Germany since like he was
Still,
like
do you
14,
think
15 or something.
if leaving
Yeah,
you,
you're right. He was in
Alvarez
the academy
available
system
for
there as well.
82?
Sorry, Tommy.
Do you think if leaving you, Alvarez was available for 82, he'd have went all in instead of 65 on Solanke?
No.
No way.
No.
No way. He's not spending. He's not going past the 60 million.
That's why I'm honest, Toronto, because it's the only one that's consistent,
I think after what happened with Harry Kane and Man
Even-
City, I don't think they're ever going to want to do business with us.
Yeah. Even Ange said it. Ange said he's not gonna. He does not. I think he said something about. I don't feel like I should replace one player with the old man. I like to maybe buy 3 players and then see if they can give me what I want in that one player.
But then that's the problem that's costed us before. It's quantity over quality. It's the same pattern that's cost us for 15, 20 years. No matter who the football director is, no matter who the manager is, it's quantity, not quality. And that would always bite us in the end.
Yeah, but even saying that, Poch almost got it right. We were this close and we didn't spend when we were supposed to spend, and that goes back to the owner. And sometimes the owner is not going to change. That guy is not going to change the way he runs the club. He's never going to change. So that's something we have to accept, or we go next week and tell him to leave.
Guys, thank you for having me on, okay?
Yeah,
so
thanks
again, Tommy.
Thank you for having us on. I'm just going to wait and watch it now, okay?
All right, Tommy.
Thank you for having
us on. You go, mate. You go. All right, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on. I need to go as well.
All right, no worries, man. Thanks for having us. Yeah. Take care.
Take care, bye.
Steve, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, Murph. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm same as every other day. Nothing's changed for me. But have your say, mate. Whatever you want. If you agree, disagree, or it's up to you.
Like, listen. So what are we talking about now?
Whatever you've come on the show to talk about. It's up to you.
Well, listen. I hear your rhetoric about talking about Tottenham like you just always seem to be slating the players and slating the team.
I literally just praised Bergvall as a top signing for Spurs.
Yeah, well, that's probably your first time.
Okay. I've said that Van der Ven's a good signing. I said I got it wrong about Vicario, that he's turned out to be good.
Yeah, but like, listen, every time I look at your Facebook page, you always seem to be dissing the team. It's everything with you seems to be negative.
I just gave you 5 examples where that's not true. And you've ignored all those 5 examples and just focused on the ones that serve what you're saying.
Bro, every time I look at your Facebook thing, it's why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Oh my god, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing this? Listen, I've always been leave you out.
Okay, good. Me too.
Constantly. From day one. I've been a season ticket holder since 1981.
Yeah.
But sometimes your rhetoric... Listen, I agree with a lot of what you say, but sometimes your rhetoric is...
You agree with a lot of what I say, but you're calling me negative. I'm confused now.
So what I'm basically saying is I agree with quite a few of the things you say.
Right.
But
so you're negative as well?
No, you have so much negativity about the team.
But you agree with it.
Ridiculous.
You just said you agree with it. Steve, you just said you agree. Steve, you there? Oh, Steve, you just said you agree with it. So are you negative then as well? Steve?
I think it's frozen.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
I think it's frozen.
I agree with a lot of what you say, but you're negative. Look, Steve, if you can come back on, man, come on. I think maybe I think he planned something you wanted to say in his head and maybe didn't quite go to plan or something. But it's hard, man. When you're actually on the camera, you realize, hold on a minute, this is a little bit different. I think maybe.
Yeah. I think maybe what he was trying to say is, but I think what he was trying to say is, because you don't like the what do you call it? The
transfers,
the way the club is
the
run.
Ownership.
Yeah. Sometimes it comes across like you're actually criticizing the players or the manager every single time. And whatever the manager is doing comes from the way the club is run. So the manager can't operate properly when there is this. The way,
but six yard box. Do you agree though that the manager accepts it? And that's why I liked Conte, because when he came out and said what he said before he left, he proper told us straight. And I thought, do you know what? That's the first time a manager has actually told us. And
but if you remember,
and therefore, do you think it's fair? You don't have to agree with it, but do you think it's fair to say that if managers accept Timo, they accept Solanke, they accept Villiers, then they're facilitating the problem? They're not the problem. We know what the problem is, but do you think they support the problem then by accepting, players that just aren't going to change Tottenham? Do you think that's fair, or do you think that's harsh on the manager?
I couldn't say one way or the other because I don't know the insights. I was not there when Andrew was telling Daniel Levy, "Get me this player, get me that player. This is the person I want. This is the what do you call it? The stats I've got on these players to play my system. This is who I want." So we are not privy to that conversation. So we will never know. We can speculate based on what's been happening, and that's what we're doing.
But then do you think if Ange Postecoglou, hold on, 6 yard box, just on what you said, if Ange Postecoglou was given £40 million to buy a left-sided forward, do you think Timo Werner's the one he picked then? If he was, let's pretend he was given £40 million, or do you think actually the club didn't want to spend a lot of money? We're going to do a really cheap deal, and that's why Timo was picked, because it's the cheap option. It's not something where it's a real commitment of intent.
Yeah, maybe the manager looked at it like, okay, I've seen him once for like 6 months. He's come back to the club. I want to see him a bit more. I'd rather spend that money, go and buy a striker, or go and buy somebody else like a defender or whatever. We will never know. We will never know, because we are not in that conversation. Obviously, we know what Daniel Levy will say. Daniel Levy will be like, "Oh, you know what? If you want to play for 100 million, would you not like to get something cheaper?" That's the way. That's what he will say. But we're not there. We don't know whether Andrew will say, "Okay, you know what? I want that 40 million pound player. I want the cheaper version," because he said something today as well. He said when they said this guy has signed, Solanke signed. He said something about, he wants to know when players struggle, how they react to when players are doing well, how do they react to struggling. He wants to know whether they've struggled in the past. So he knows when things are going tough, he wants to know how they react. So maybe that's the kind of players that he wants to sign. He likes to sign. We will never know. But we know the way the club is run. The club is never going to change the way they do things. That's the way that's where we are now. And it's never going to change. So, we are not in that conversation. So we will never know. I didn't even expect him to pay for the 65 million for Solanke. I was thinking he's going to do like a 45 million pound.
I was shocked. I was shocked.
That was something. That's why I thought I was surprised the way he was so quick, the way they done it, and bang, he was done. So but he's never.
Let's bring in Scott M. Let me bring in Scott M because he's a regular once in a while on the show. But Scott, how you doing, my man? You feel free to say whatever you want. Have your say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too bad. Like you said, I used to be a regular. Hopefully I'll get on a little bit more. Last year, I mean, I think we've talked at other times, and it was just a season I wasn't fully invested in, and it's hard. And I'll give Steve credit there. It's hard, like you said, when you come on here. It's hard to come on here when you're not really, like, when the season is just so blah. So I wasn't on as much, and hopefully I'll get on a little more. But I'm gonna take over a little bit from what Steve was saying. I don't know if it's the right direction that he wanted to go, but I'll take there. And again, credit to him. It's hard when you get on here, especially the first time. And lots of times tech doesn't work, as Stel can attest to. So it doesn't work out quite as well. And once that tech stops working, you get flustered and everything. So big up to Steve for coming on. But I do want to kind of take what he was saying about negativity. And I'll be kind to him to start and say, I think what I get from him is he really wants to be positive with the club, right? And he hears what you're saying, and you saw it. He doesn't necessarily disagree with you, right? And you bring up the points, and you can see that lots of these fans, they don't disagree with what you're saying. Like you say, nobody here is saying the set pieces is great. So when we point out Angie's to fix the set pieces, people are like, oh, you always harp on the negative, but they don't disagree that the set pieces is a problem. Hey, we don't win any trophies. Nobody can argue with the fact that we don't win or even barely compete with trophies. But if you bring that up, oh, you're just negative. You just focus on the trophies. So I think with somebody like Steve and a lot of the fans out there, they really want to be positive. They really want to love the club. And the problem is the club gives them so little to love right now. So it's easier to go after people like yourself, people like me that look like we're negative, when the reality is it's the club that's negative. It's everything surrounding the club that is negative. And we are easier to take the brunt on because we're just fools on here on YouTube, talking heads, doing nothing. And if you insult the club, some people don't think it takes away from them from being fans. So I understand the frustration that Steve has, but I think when he said every time you brought something up, he said, yeah, well, that I agree with. And, it got to the point, I don't know if you saw my comment, is if you take away all the time you praise players, Stel, then you don't praise the players, right? But there's enough examples to show that it isn't just all negative. And the other thing I'll say when it comes to negativity, it isn't that we're here supporting City, right? And saying, oh, we only won the league by 10 points this year. Like, if that's the kind of stuff that we were coming up with and criticizing and saying, then 100% that's negative. But what I don't get is when every year we don't win trophies. Every year we have windows that aren't good enough. And I'm sorry, last year people thought the window was good. You can't tell me that when we sell Harry Kane and we come out starting a back line of Son, Johnson, Kulu, Brian Hill, Timo Wiener, that's a good enough, or Richarlison, that's a good enough window. It isn't. It isn't a good window. We don't have good windows. We don't bring the players we have in. We don't see success on the field. So there's nothing here for us that we are being negative about. We're just talking about what's going on at the club. So credit to Steve again. Credit to you, Stel, for speaking the truth. And I'm hopefully that covers a little bit there. It gives us a starting point anyways, and I'll listen to anything you have to say in regards to it.
Scott, I think you articulated it really well. I just say what I see. And unfortunately, what I see is just failure consistently. And if coming fifth and crashing out of cups is a positive step forward, then fine. But I just don't see it that way. Do you know, sometimes I wonder, and I do ask myself this question, sometimes I wonder, am I too ambitious for my club? Are my standards too high for my club? Should I lower my standards? Should I lower my ambition for Spurs? But then I think if I do that, how the hell do you ever win anything? Because I've actually experienced what success looks like at Spurs, and my uncles and granddad showed it to me as well.
But you know what, Phil? But that
I just can't accept basic things that just, for me, stink. For example, Timo Werner being at Spurs, not being able to defend basic things.
You know,
these are the things that will cost us in the long run.
If we were Burnley, sure. Like, if we are Burnley and this is what we're asking for, then I would say let's adjust our expectations. If our owners came out, like when Mike Ashley was here, one of the things, he's one that often gets compared to Levy. Mike Ashley never said they were going for the title. Mike Ashley was pretty transparent about what they're doing. But the club, Ange says that we're trying to win the title. Levy says that we want to be one of the top clubs in the world. The prices we pay are one of the top prices in the world.
Yeah.
That's right. You generate are the top in the world. And even the people who are, I'm not going to say happy clappers because they're going to be mad, but you know who I'm talking. Even the positive side of our club, those people all say that Spurs can win trophies, that we can compete for trophies, right? They're not even saying. So if everybody is saying that we should be up there, then why shouldn't we have those expectations? There's nothing that at our club, and that's what I'll always go to. There's nothing at our club. We're in London, which is a desirable city for players to live in. We're in the Premier League, which is, if not the best league in the world, the second best league in the world where players want to come. It generates the most money of any league by far in the world. So we have the money to do it. Our fan base is big enough that we generate the money. There's nothing that says we can't compete for trophies other than our owner's ambition. So I said too, should we lower our expectations? No, because there's no reason to do it other than Daniel Levy. There's nothing about our club that says that we can't. And before they came in, as people always want to try to tell us how little we were before, we had the most FA Cups. Even if you want to say we can't compete for a league, before they came in, we had the most FA Cups. So you can't
we were the record holders.
Why we can't win. Like, even, again, go for it. Mari, good to see you here. We're both in North America, right? And this is something I'll say. We follow North American
Me too.
sports.
I'm in North America.
Now you are, yes. But if you follow North American sports, right, it's not the same. There's not as many things to win. It's not as easy to win, right? Everybody wants to win, but there's not as many cups and trophies for us to win. But one of the things I'll always say, I could live with us not necessarily winning the Premier League every year, not winning an FA Cup. I could live with that if we were if we were trying to win. If you try to win and you don't win a trophy, that's life. That's what Liverpool does, right? Like, they tried to win and they didn't win everything this year. Does that mean that they suck? No, but we don't even try to win. That's the problem I have. I could support this club. I could get behind Levy. I could get behind Enoch if we were trying to win and we didn't win. Look, if City beats us, we did the best we could to win. That's sport. That's life. But we don't even go out to try to win. We're not even at the level where we're trying to win. And that's what frustrates me, I think, more than anything, is that we're not even out there trying.
Don't you think it's more difficult now to win even the cups now? With City,
what's up, guys?
Don't you think it's a lot more difficult to win things now with City, with the way the club, okay, the owner of the club, the way he runs the club.
I hate that.
Guys, no, hold on. Sorry, 1 second, Mari. Yeah, 6-yard box. I'll let Mari reply to you. I just want to quickly say something. I've got to go in 5 minutes. So before we do anything, Mari, do you want to take over the show for half an hour, or do you want me to end it in 5?
Probably half an hour. I'll do half an hour, and then.
All right. So in 5 minutes, I'll go, and then Mari can take over and
come on, Stel, stay on. I just came on, Stel.
Bro, I can't. Listen, I'm in LA. I've left the conference to come and do this because I lost my mind watching Spurs and I had to sleep. Right? I've got to be back in this conference place.
No worries, man. No worries.
I mean, I'm next to the crypto.com where the LA Lakers play. I'm just kind of.
Oh shit!
Nice, wow, man. You're living it large, man. You're living it large. Man.
No, I wish, mate. I'm a Spurs fan. I don't live it large. Mari, you can reply to 6-yard box. 6-yard box. Can I get your telephone number before we go? If you in the private chat.
Okay.
If you type it in the private chat. No, I'd like to get you back on the show one day. That's why.
Okay, all right then. I'll put it in the private chat.
Yeah, put in the private chat. Yeah, Mari, you can reply to what 6-yard box said about.
No, big up to the panel. Especially Scott. It's always good to be on the stream with.
Yeah, big up, Scott, man.
My brother Scott.
What's up, Scott?
It's been a long time. I will say I hate that excuse. And it's nothing against you because I've heard a lot of people use it. Even one big channel person. I mean, I'll say his name, Sean, who says, "Oh, it's a lot more difficult." No, it's not. All right. Scott just said, we just came from North American leagues where you only really have one chance to win. The NBA just put in a new in-season cup, so I guess you have a chance to win 2 things. We have 4 chances. Because we're in Europe. 4 chances to win, most years, a kind of trophy, and a lot of it takes, good planning. We talked about that last night. It took a lot of ambition, right? Which is the key thing Scott talks about, the ambition, because the money's there. All right, I get sick and tired when people say, "Well, we're not oil money or Roman Abramovich money." I keep saying this: we have never been a poor club. We've never been. I live in the home of Tavistock, right, Orlando, right, and yes, now he's a silent owner looking to sell his shares because he got in trouble with the United States government. We're not Burnley. We're not Burnley. Matter of fact, the bottom half teams here in the Premier League will make more than most teams out of England. So we need to get out of the haves and have-nots. All right. So the problem is, it's a combination why we don't win trophies, right? Number one, I did a study about this. Stell knows. I even went to Transfer Market because Transfer Market will show you the personnel of each club they have when they hire them and fire them. Out of the big six clubs, you know the team that had the most turnover, Tottenham. And out of the big six clubs, which had the less trophies, Tottenham. Right? We don't have a vision. We don't have a vision. We don't have consistency. We don't have consistency to be able to put ourselves to have those chances at winning trophies, right? Because the other person that I mentioned says, well, we haven't had many attempts. Well, the reason why we haven't had many attempts and we're less out of the big six clubs is because the lack of ambition, the lack of consistency, right? A guy like Paul Mitchell should have stayed a couple more years, right? To build that consistency, right? We fire high coaches like we get rid of whatever so easily. We don't have that. Let alone we have a loose mentality from Levy because, to be honest, he doesn't care about winning. That's the reason why it seems difficult, but it's not. Right? Even Leicester was able to get a second trophy. Right? People, oh, you lucked out. You want to leave. And they were able to find themselves in winning a second trophy and winning the FA Cup. So when I hear the excuse of, oh, it's difficult, no, it's not. It may be. I'll take that excuse if you're Burnley. I'll take that excuse if you're Luton Town. But if we're supposed to be a big six club, no, it's a challenge for those 4 trophies most years.
Mari.
So Stefan, let me say goodbye, and you guys can go. I think Alex might be joining Mari. Okay. 6 Yard Box, big up to you. Rinka Tick, Steve, Thomas that come on. Scott M, big up as always. Mari, Stefan, have a good show, guys.
If you're in LA, go and have an In-N-Out burger. You won't regret it.
Yes. I've had In-N-Out before. I've had
In-N-Out. Okay.
That's a different show.
yeah, different show. Anyway, no, I'm going to a place called Honey's Kettle. It's award-winning deep fried chicken. So I'm going to go.
Nice. Enjoy, man.
All right, man. See you later. Bye, everyone. Big up in the chat. Big up in the chat.
Look, Mari, I completely agree with everything you're saying, but I said the same thing to Stell. You have just spent £105 million on 2 players, and I get it. You guys aren't, really happy with both of those players, but you are spending money. It is not the fact that you lack ambition when it comes to spending money. You also have to take into account, this is from you guys are going to say from an Arsenal fan, but you have a limited recruitment attraction also.
Because of Levy though, Stephen, not because of anything else.
No, but Scott, I agree with you, but let's be honest. If Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, even I would argue even Chelsea to this day, no matter if they're horrendously run, if you guys compete with them and the wages are quite similar and the offer is quite similar, the player, I know it's hard to, admit it, the player is not choosing Spurs. So when I read in the comments, Dominic Solanke, do I agree? 65 million is a massive overpay for a guy that's had one hot season in the Premier League? Completely. Do I think Ivan Toney or Dovbyk would have been better players for a lower fee? 100%. But let's be honest, you're not getting Osimhen, you're not getting any of the...
We were never going for those kind of players anyway.
I would agree with you, but when we had that chance, right, and I'm gonna use this player because people tend to forget how close we were to getting Paulo Dybala, and who didn't want to pay the image rights? Who had
Okay, yeah.
the image
Okay,
rights?
yeah. It's Levy.
Daniel Levy, and
Levy, okay.
that player on that team would have been a wonderful addition. But
Are you sure, Mari? Are you sure? Because right after, I agree. He's a great player, but let's be honest, Mari. Ever since that season, that great season that he had with Juve, he was supremely injury prone, and he barely showed the same type of side of player that he was in Juve.
Yeah, that's after the fact. But I'm just saying, at that time being, right, he was still a player of value, a big get, and would have universally had the whole fan base excited, right? Because I don't think anybody at that time was against Paulo Dybala coming into
No,
Spurs.
I just,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Now it's just like, okay, you have a team that's in the Europa League right now. Aston Villa looks a little bit more attractive, like a little bit more.
I disagree. Spurs are more attractive than Villa. What
Spurs are more attractive. Definitely.
I disagree with this. But what you guys, I know it's hard to understand, is that for the top tier players, for example, Arsenal, just one example. I know people are gonna get annoyed. Arsenal 2 or 3 years ago could never have signed Declan Rice, but because the attraction and the project of the club improved,
it's just the money, man. I think you can't
no,
compare.
it's not. It's not the money. It's not the money. It's not
It's
only
the
the
money,
money.
basically,
It's
man. I
not
think
only the money.
you
He
have to
could
look
have.
at the profile of the player as well. You have to look at profiles of
No.
players. Maybe Ange didn't want that kind of a player.
Guys,
It's
it's
not all
not
about the
only.
money.
If it was.
Stefan, I get what you're saying, but when you have, like you said, I just mentioned the turnover, the consistency. When you have Edu's been there for 5-6 years, and then you have year 3 or 4 of your project, right?
Yeah. Okay.
You have more stability. I understand that, but when
Exactly.
these players are smart, these agents are smart. They're like, wow,
look,
you have more stability. It's more. You have more of a chance of getting a player. Whereas with Spurs, right, we don't even know if Ange is going to last to the season, right? We got Lange who come in, right?
Exactly.
They've been there for a year, maybe fired because we don't keep sporting directors. We have never really had consistency. For me, when I look for a job, I look at the health of the company or the school in that case. I look at have they been tell? I look at the hierarchy. I look at the leadership, right? If I'm a quality player, world class player, even with Spurs finish at 7th, right? I'm looking at the culture. I'm looking at the history. I'm looking like this is not a stable club. Yes, they make money outside the stadium, but when it comes to football matters, it doesn't look stable. Whereas at least with Arsenal,
this is but Mari, this is but this money thing that you guys continue on about is also a little bit overblown. Is also a little bit overblown. I'll tell you, Arsenal by next year will be making more revenue than Spurs, 100%, because we're in the Champions League, because our commercial revenue, because the attraction of the club has increased massively, because we have a far larger fan base internationally than Spurs. But wait, but let me just wait. Even but wait, Mark, I agree with you about your sustainable model. However, Arsenal have an owner that is worth $20 billion almost. Other clubs have much richer owners that can make up the extra 50 to 100 million revenue that you guys make over the case for 3 or 4 years.
But Stefan, 1 second. When our owners are worth $8 billion, like how rich do you need to be to make up?
Joe Louis, you're talking here now. Joe Louis owns half of Orlando. I mean, Joe Louis,
like how much
they make
he can
money.
afford to make up $50 million. At some point, you're so rich that if you want to, you can make up the difference. We're not talking about making up $1 billion.
I'm not saying they're poor guys. I'm just saying that the owners of other clubs are double. Like for example,
and Joe Louis is the same level. As American,
it's got nothing for me. I think it's got nothing. It's got nothing to do with
guys.
The money you're making, the money the owners are making. If your team is not doing well on the pitch, nobody gives a crap. Tottenham last season, first 10 games of the season, nobody was shouting, talking about the money spent, blah 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 blah. It's all about Arsenal. 4 years, 3 years. nobody was saying the owners are perfect. They got all this money for 3 years when they were finishing 7, 8, or whatever, wherever they were finishing. It's all about what's going on the pitch. And Arsenal have got it right on the pitch now. So that's the reason why the manager has got more, what do you call it? He's got more say now. He can go to the board and say, give me this, give me this, give me that. Because these things it takes time for you to build that confidence with the owners for them to give you money. So it's all about what's going on the pitch. If you don't win the league this season, he's going to be in trouble. Because second is not going to be enough.
No, he
Second
won't
is
be.
not going to be enough. If you
No,
don't win
he
the league
won't be.
this season,
No,
he's
6 yard box. Again, if you read up on the Kroenke model, when they find a coach that they feel is special, like they did with their basketball team, like they did with their hockey team, like they did with all their successful teams that have won all of the Stanley Cups and everything, they keep that coach to the
that won't work in the league. That won't work in the Premier League.
It will work in the league because what Arteta has managed to do, okay, which everybody continues to downplay, even though Chelsea have spent far more money than Arsenal, Man United have spent more money than Arsenal, Spurs now with the purchase of Solanke overall in the last 3 to 4 years have spent more money than Arsenal, and these three teams that I just named are nowhere near Arsenal. So what Arteta has done is that he is fighting against Manchester City. And Manchester City, Klopp won only one league in 9 years, even though Liverpool were an amazing team. So the board knows this, and they will back, and they will continue to.
We'll see how long. We'll see how long is good. How long? You say they're gonna stick with him. We'll see.
They're completely
we'll see
gonna. No, because
every season, another thing is every season is different as well. Every season is different. So Arsenal, they've got 2 good seasons. Let's see what's gonna happen this season. We'll see anyway. But for me,
I mean,
I actually agree with Stefan here. I think that Arteta, unless something terribly goes wrong, is not really in any big threat of getting sacked. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Unless it goes completely off the rails. But.
No. Arteta has literally transformed the club. Like Arsenal, and I remember when he came and took over, people underestimate what he has done.
It took 4 years, so it took 4 years.
But 4 years with no trophies, yes. But Arsenal have one of the youngest squads in the league. We're going to get better. Like those trophies, if we continue to act like we do on the transfer market, continue to identify players in which, let's be honest now, pretty much every single team that is trying to rise up in the league table is trying to copy the Arsenal model currently. Let's be full. Chelsea are literally trying to copy everything with every single player that Arsenal.
Chelsea are not, man. Chelsea are just signing players to keep them somewhere. They are stockpiling. They're not copying Arsenal.
Chelsea, every single Arsenal, every single player that Arsenal has linked, Chelsea tried to hijack the actual deal. Chelsea hire another Man City assistant like Arteta. Chelsea are literally trying to copy Arsenal. But
that's the Premier League. Well, that's the scouting now. You can't. Scouting is so broad now. Every player out there, all the clubs know about them. There's no clubs with the right to sign no more players. Everything, all the clubs know about different players.
I agree.
Let's not get detract from the game because it is good talk. It is definitely good talk. Let me read this super chat. I think is this our first super chat of the day? Well, I just came, so it's the first one for me. Big up Sava. He says, "Hi, much love. Hi, Mari. Hi, Scott. Can we talk about Gray?" Yes.
He was awful today again.
He was. Other channels are saying
no.
Other channels for some reason.
No.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I disagree, man. I don't get that. No.
Praised by many, but all he did was give the ball away all game 8 times today. If you talk Bergvall, yes, Bergvall was decent today. He was good. You can see.
I think Bergvall has impressed me far more than Archie Gray. From what I've watched.
I agree with you. Yeah. No, I'm with you on
like Archie Gray. Just if you start him at the number 6 position, you're gonna destroy the kid's confidence. He is not ready. He is nowhere near ready.
What I see with Gray is our fans are so worried. Like you will say, yeah, he gave the ball away a lot. And they agree, but they're like, yeah, but he's great. And it's like, no, like there seems to be a problem that if you say that he at 18 years old, like almost every player out there isn't ready to start in the Premier League, that means he's crap. Like he's 18.
No.
He should need a year or two to get ready, right? You bet him in. That's what you do with 18-year-old players with half a year of experience in the championship playing the number 6 position.
I believe Mikey Moore is actually more ready than
I agree. Yeah. There's
I
nothing
disagree
wrong.
with this.
There's nothing wrong with saying
I
great
disagree
needs
with
more
this.
time.
No
right?
way.
I'm like, yo, but because for me, you know how I put Brendan Johnson and Tebow, I'm like, shoot, get Mikey Moore.
I think as fans sometimes, we the coach see more than us. They see them every day in training. They know how they react to when things are not going well, when things are going well. They see everything. So for me, if a player takes the ball and beats 3 or 4 people, if he beats 3 or 4 people every single time, what are the chances of that player giving the ball away most of the time? He's going to give you away.
Wait.
I'm not even talking about Bayern. I'm talking about QPR.
But wait. No.
He's going to give you away, though. He's going to give you away. That's what Ange wants. Ange wants them to play that way. That's what he wants. You don't hide. You keep doing it, and you get better by doing it.
No, 6-yard box. No, because I'll tell you why. Because when you see a kid that is not ready, that obviously doesn't know how to play the position at a Premier League level, when you play
he played, how many games did he play in the Championship?
Yeah, at right back. He
played
most of those games at right back.
First season
in the Championship.
I'll tell you something now, yeah. You write this down. It's going to be like Dele Alli. He's going to.
Oh my God!
He's going to be.
Guys do this.
Wait. Let me land. Hold on a minute. He's going to be. No. What I meant was, he's not going to play. Obviously, he don't play in the same position as Dele Alli. I'm saying he's going to play well in whatever position he plays in, and he's going to fit into the Premier League.
But he hasn't played well. He hasn't. He played awful against. He played awful against the. I watched all of the games starting from
preseason. You're looking at preseason games, man. Forget about preseason. Judge him when the season starts. Forget preseason.
But why? If he can't do it in the preseason, why do we think he's going to do it in the regular season when the skill ends up? And when Dele Alli came in, he came into a team that was already pretty good, playing with Son, Eriksson, Harry Kane doing all the heavy lifting with Dembele and Wanyama with him there, right?
Scott,
we're asking Gray to come into a team that's dysfunctional right now.
You can't judge.
Okay,
Archie Gray. You can't judge that boy based on a couple of games in the preseason. Coming out. He plays as centre back, and I saw that game. He played well as centre back as well.
Against.
Don't know if anybody knows that
game. You can, yeah. Because Mr. Box Office needs to say something right now, because absolutely what I've just heard now, which I've heard twice over, by the way. Yeah, Mr. Box Office back on tour from Jamaica, by the way. Yeah,
congratulations.
You know what I mean? Rattling brains, yeah, rattling last video as well, yeah, and that's it. You know what I mean? And people, and by the way, 6 yards. If you're going to tell me I'm negative, Bob, you're going to tell me I'm negative, Bob. I've heard it the last 4 years. I've ran them off YouTube, bruv. I've ran them off YouTube, bruv. That's all I can say. They walked off YouTube because they knew they couldn't take Mr. Box Office. They couldn't take him. Yeah, that's it. By the way, just to say to everybody in the crowd and everything else, I ain't changing. Andy's leaving at the end of the season every single day. Yeah, every single day. He's done. He's finished.
And that's a good thing.
He's finished. He's finished.
That's a good thing.
Okay. Yeah,
we keep changing managers.
I'll tell you why. Everyone knows why I'm saying it, yeah? By the way, yeah, the reason why we're saying Archie Gray's we don't rate Archie Gray is because our fan base making themselves looking like they're the stars when they're not even the stars yet. You know what I mean?
Nobody said that. I never said that.
Yeah, people are saying he's a wonder kid already. That's the problem.
All I'm saying is giving.
I'm sorry, I'm not having this rubbish in that team. I've heard this the last 4 years being on YouTube. I've heard this every single time, and this is no different. I'm sorry, yeah. And the board are not helping Ange as well, and Ange's not helping himself well, talking too much. The board are not supporting him because they're not saying nothing. And by the way, Arsenal board says a lot about Arteta. They say, yeah, we're backing him. Where's Scott Munn? Where's
So what do you want him
Lang?
to say? What do you want? What do you want him to say?
Just to say something to say, or we still back the process. We still back
Why
him.
would they say that? Why would they say that? They gave him a 5-year contract. Why would they say they back him? They gave him a 3-year contract.
What is he telling
What
us?
does that say? They gave him a 3-year contract. Why would they come out and say, "Oh, we back him"?
It's quite simple. It's quite simple. It's quite simple, and that's it. Yeah.
What should they say?
The same football that we see before.
I don't get it, man.
To motor shine. The point is, yeah, he's had the same football. Yeah, done the same thing. I saw the same thing today. Yeah, saw in the highlights the same old thing.
True.
You saw the highlights, yeah.
Right. There's no dribblers in our team. Johnson's absolute rubbish. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've even heard someone today, right, who's a good guy. Yeah, saying you rather have Werner in front of Johnson. That says it all. That bang average Shane Long. I'm sorry, I'm done with him as well. He should never come at our club. Yeah, we've not sorted out our front three. Our midfield is whatever. Yeah, big up Stabber every single time. My point is, we ain't sorted it out. It's done. It's finished. He's finished, bro. I'm done. I'm watching somebody else next season, brother. I can't be arsed. I'm watching Arsenal. I'm enough, bro. Back to you, Mario. If you don't know, get to know.
Let's get order. Let's get order in the court.
Mark, let me just ask one question to 6 Yard Box, because he says it's just preseason.
Yes, sir.
6 Yard Box, in the game, you had massive issues last season with set pieces. Massive issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this summer he has not hired a set piece coach, and Bayern Munich exploited in a number of times. They scored 2 goals from set. Are you not concerned that, I know it's just preseason, that the pattern of what happened last year is going to happen again?
Why would I be concerned? If we play well today and set pieces was fine, everybody was defending properly, and next week we get done at Leicester.
How are
you not concerned?
Why should I be concerned? I won't be concerned. Like I said,
last year. We've given up 8 goals last year.
Yeah, but we were playing zonal. We were playing zonal. Then they switched it. Towards the end of the season, it got better as well. Towards the end of the season.
2 games? Really? That's not a large sample size.
Okay, all right. Okay, fine. 2 games. Let's see what happens against Leicester, Everton, Newcastle. Then, we can say, okay, he's not addressed it. Preseason is what it is. Preseason. Okay? Make all the mistakes. Make all the mistakes you want to make. Make all the mistakes. I'd rather them make mistakes in preseason than in the real season. So that's the way I look at it. I don't know how the way you guys look at it.
Shouldn't the mistakes they're making be trying to make those adjustments to the new style? Shouldn't we be making, like, we're trying man-to-man style of marking on the set pieces, and we make mistake doing it because we're trying to adjust to that new style? We shouldn't be making the same mistakes with the same formation that we did last year, because that's
okay. What about the actual style itself? It's the same stuff I saw when.
That's what I mean, Stefan. Yeah,
wait.
We're just doing the same mistakes as last year.
It's the same stuff I saw after the start of the new year in 2024, when teams figured you out. They started playing on the wing.
What season? What season?
Open?
What year did Arteta change the way they were playing? What year did Arteta change? He changed this year. This year Arsenal became more.
That's not
Arsenal became this year. They became more. They sit back a lot more compact. They were not like the way they were playing before this season.
We don't sit back.
No. What I'm trying to say is They were not playing more possession football the way they were playing last season. This season, they kept it a little bit more compact the way they play, and they picked the moments where they
Arsenal. Why are we talking about Arsenal?
You can see the difference. You see the difference the way they played last season compared to when they went to City this season. They didn't open up unless City picked them off. So obviously the manager is learning as he's going.
Wait,
that's the way it is.
First of all, no.
That's the way it is, man. That's the way managers they learn as they go. They change stuff as they go.
Let me 6 Yard Box. This is the final thing about Arsenal. I'll say, Arsenal.
Why is he doing on here? Get him off.
Wait. Let me just say this. If you watch Arsenal, every single season, Arteta changed the tactics a little bit, If you watched him throughout the years, we went from having overlapping fullbacks with Tierney and Bellerin at the start when we were terrible. We changed that to a more controlling football. Every single year, Arteta adds some sort of tactical wrinkle. This year, with the signings that we're gonna make, Merino is supposedly coming up, going to be signed next week, supposedly. I think you're gonna see a different Arsenal also. So every year he makes changes, he adapts in order to improve the actual team. And he's not done this season. He hasn't.
Okay, so during preseason, when Arteta changed, you saw this in preseason. Yeah, that's what you're telling me. You saw these little changes that he's making. You saw it in preseason. Okay, we don't know if Ange is going to change or not. Let the season start. Come back after 5 games, 6 games. Come back and say, you know what? It's not changed yet. 10 games last season. 10 games when Tottenham were top last season. Nobody came out and said, "Oh, you know what? We got to have a plan B. We got to have a plan."
Hang on. I've got
10
sorry.
games last season.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Go
can I?
on, Sava. Go on.
Okay, so there's 3 things I'm gonna pass off to Sava. Number 1 was the last point, which it's a horrible take. Number 2, you're not concerned with set pieces, and then the third thing, I'm still lost. Gray being Dele Alli, that was a horrible.
No. I never. Oh, whoa. I never said. I said he's gonna be the way Dele Alli came and just hit the ground running in his first season, because nobody expected Dele Alli to come in and get into the team, and that's why Ange is playing him already. He's playing him as a right back. It's not his position. He plays as a 6. Man, so he's coming in. Right. He's coming in to play, and we can't judge him now. That's all I'm saying. We can't judge him before he's even played in a Premier League game. We cannot judge him.
I don't see it, but I'm gonna pass on. You can hit those 3 points.
I guess.
Listen,
I win a couple of games, everyone will be smiling. Anyway,
I don't know what I'm hearing. Like I truly believe, right, that Spurs fans, we have this button on somewhere on our body where every year, no matter how bad it is, no matter what we don't do or what we do, we just press this button and forget the year before and the year before and the year before and the year before. It's like we don't like truth. We don't like.
That's a different conversation.
No, hang on.
That's a different conversation.
I haven't said anything yet. How do you know I haven't said anything yet? How do you know it's a different conversation?
I knew what you were going to say. I knew what you were going to say.
Let him land.
Whoa. Land. I haven't even started.
Right. Still on the wrong way. Okay.
Let's be fair, right? First of all, I'm so bored of Spurs fans saying, "Oh, what did Arteta do in year 1? What did Arteta do in year 2? What did Arteta?" This comparison between Ange and Arteta, I don't know why it exists, right? I don't know where it's come from. I don't know why we're judging what Arsenal did in terms of backing Arteta, right? Something that we won't do with our manager. I don't know why the similarities exist. Oh, what did Arteta do in year 1? What's that got to do with Ange Postecoglou, right? Second of all, right, I think I heard Scott say this just now. Apologies, I was just setting up. We are so desperate, right? We are so desperate to find positives in failure. We are so desperate to find positives that we start praising players that have done absolutely nothing. We start praising players that have been shocking, right? And we start finding these little nuggets. So Archie Gray was today. Bergvall showed some lovely touches. Bergvall did some really good things, right? Don't get me wrong. He's still a kid. He gives the ball away and that's fine. Archie Gray today was atrocious. Every time he got the ball, the 5-10 yard pass that was on, he couldn't complete the pass. He was skinned every time at fullback. And a couple of times he won the ball back and people go, "Oh, that's amazing." Well, he's only winning the ball back because he's given it away again and again and again. And if you actually watched him against Hearts and QPR, he's playing in a back 2 against teams where we're going to win, in a game where we are going to have 70, 80% of possession. So you can't really judge him. The last 3 games, we've seen him play central midfield and then today at right back against proper opposition. And we've seen that the boy, I'm not knocking him, he's 18. It's the problem is, I don't think it's people like me telling the truth about him. I think it's the problem is fans overhyping him who have never really seen him play week in, week out, but have just made up this narrative that Archie Gray is one of the best young players in Europe. No one's got any way of knowing that. He wasn't even one of Leeds' best players last season,
True,
right?
yeah.
If you watch them, right? And the third thing I'll say here is, I don't know. Listen, I'm not going to profess to being some super duper football coach inside knowledge, but I've worked at Premier League football clubs, and all these people who keep saying, "Oh, it's just pre-season," right? Sure, it's just pre-season for results. I don't care if Bayern beat us 3-0. I don't care if we beat Hearts 5-1. Those results don't matter. But when we're hearing from people like the gentleman above me just said, that like we're saying that pre-season isn't the time to implement these changes that the manager wants to make. The manager has all pre-season with the players on tour in London. The games we're seeing, these should be the games where the tweaks, the when to drop 10 yards, somebody sitting in front of the back 4, yeah, right? When to go, when to stay. That's where we should be seeing these tweaks implemented in pre-season. Everyone now is saying, wait until we've had 4 or 5 Premier League games. So does everyone think, sorry if I'm on a rant, right? But does everyone think that literally all summer we do nothing, all pre-season games, all friendlies, we sit there and don't do anything? Then all of a sudden in game 1, the manager goes, right, now let's change it up. That's not how football works. That's not how professional football clubs work. The problem you've got here, fans are burying their head in that sand. Ange Postecoglou from 10 games last season, and by the way, that what you said earlier was nonsense. There were fans like me, like Alex, like Mari, during that 10-game period, probably Scott as well, knowing Scott, in that 10-game period saying, this isn't sustainable. This football isn't sustainable. We've been lucky. We're going to get found out. From that 10th game, which was what, November, right? I want to say November, October time, right? From that 10th game to today, our form has been diabolical. That first 10 games has given this manager this platform and this kind of praise from fans that wouldn't exist if we had taken from game 10 to game 38 in a vacuum and said, look how bad it's been. The team can't defend. Hang on. The team can't defend, right? There's no protection for the back 4. Every single time, Porro gets pressed. Porro's amazing. Adogi's amazing. Everything that happens against us is behind them. So they can't be that amazing because they're never in position. And whether that's the manager or not, fine. We can't defend set pieces. This notion that it's an attacking style of play. It's not attacking. We're actually counter-attacking teams. It's not attacking. We're counter-attacking teams because everybody's figured out how to play against Spurs. So, right, by me adding this context, what will happen next season is we'll start against Leicester. We'll beat Leicester. We will beat Leicester. Right?
I don't know about that.
All right, Stefan, I'm just look. If there's anything about us, we beat Leicester City.
Yeah,
right?
True. Yeah.
And the problem is we'll beat Leicester City, and then people will go, see, pre-season didn't matter. Let's judge this after 10 games when we've played Arsenal, when we played Man United, when we've played Villa, when we've played Crystal Palace, when we've played Newcastle, right? We will see. We will win 3 or 4, lose 3 or 4, draw 3 or 4. You know what I mean? It will be hit or miss every game because everybody 6-yard box loves playing Tottenham because we are the most wide open team that I've seen in Europe. No, we are so badly set up, but no one wants to admit it because no one wants to say that they were wrong about Ange.
Can I just say something?
Rant over.
Can I just say something? Can I just say 2 things from what you said just now? Yeah. Ange said something when he came in. He was like, I'm building a team and I'm building a team for where we want to be. And during this time, there's going to be inconsistencies. We're going to see results like this. And if anybody thinks we're just going to roll up, play this perfect football, win games, don't concede goals. We're deluded. This is what
no one's saying that. No one's expecting it. No one's expecting it to be perfect. But I expect us with Van der Ven and Romero, with Porro and Udogie, I expect us to be able to defend.
61 goals.
I expect us not to concede 16 to 20 shots on goal every single game of football that we play.
Yeah. Conte's team was better defending.
Now, what happened? The same Conte fans wanted out. Fans were complaining. First season, I'm not even going to talk about Conte because that's a different conversation. What I just want to say is, second season, I personally, want to see improvements on those things you've mentioned when we start games in the season. I want to see us defend a little bit better. What do you call it? Not being too wide open at the back. That's what I want to see. Second season.
Can you see any? Okay, so I agree with you. I agree with you. We've reached middle ground. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Now I'll ask the question. For us to see improvements, surely along the way you have to see things being tweaked. You have to see things being adapted. You have to see players being added to the team.
Yeah.
Now,
of course.
Yeah, but 6-yard box, we're not seeing that. And the problem is, like you just said, right, that Ange said there'll be inconsistencies and that he's building a team. What team is he building? Because at the moment we're buying Archie Grays. We've re-signed Timo Werner.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Yeah, that's a different conversation. Yeah, we know why that is. We know we need to get the guy at the top out. Yeah, but we are now. If every one of us say today that Saturday we don't want Daniel Levy there, all of us everybody should stop going to the stadium, paying for tickets. But we know that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
But wait.
We know it's not going to happen.
I don't believe it's only. Hang on. I don't believe it's only Daniel Levy anymore. Listen, I hate Levy as much as the next guy. Right? Everyone knows I hate Daniel Levy, but I think this manager has never managed top players before. I think he thinks he can do it with Solomons, Werners, and Brennan Johnsons.
Yeah, what's the target, though? What's the target?
He's not a very good coach either.
And he's not a good coach.
Can I just? Yeah.
He's not a very good coach.
What's the target for Tottenham, though? What will be your perfect target for Tottenham in terms of success?
Ange said win the league. So how's that not the target? Ange said win the league.
That's true.
Okay, so what do you think? Looking at Ange now, knowing the manager we have here, when you ask him that question, what do you think he's gonna say? Exactly, that's what he's gonna say. He's not gonna tell you, you know what? It's gonna take like 10 years before we win the league. Nobody even knows. Nobody knows.
6-yard box, yeah. All I need to say, like I said earlier, yeah, he's talking too much, and no one's backing him up. No one from upstairs is backing him up. Like, because the board split. The board are always split on managers. Right?
Can't win, man.
And like I said before, I look at Arsenal with their board straight away, keep on backing him, keep on saying, we're backing Arteta, we're not going anywhere.
That's what I'm saying. It's a different conversation.
Diddly squat for my owners. I'm hearing nothing. And this is what I said back in last year, June. I said from the very get-go, I said, I can see this. As soon as the fans turn, he's gone. He's gone.
Okay.
They can't stick to what they say.
Hold on. I just want to mention, thank you, Donna Cullen, for all the super chats. And I got all of them. Mr. Scott M, I see you against me and my boss.
Okay. Let me just,
give me your price to defense. Mr. Box Office, do you need Mrs. Box Office in life? Also said, Box Office, I'm in love with you now. Like the brothers. Mr. Saba, I was just joking with Mr. Box Office. Oh, some jealousy here. Okay. Saba, I will love you till the sun dies for reality.
There's a lot of loving going on in there tonight.
Okay. Let me just.
And I go long back. I just got to score.
There's a lot of loving going on, man.
Okay. Just let me.
Yard box, and lastly, Mr. 6 Yard, please respect Saba. Don't.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah,
Mari, let me, because 6 Yard is making some points, and I would say he's blindly optimistic. But let me just ask him: were you not concerned last year? Gary O'Neill, the Wolves coach, did a brilliant and a very kind of simple Sky Sports show where he pretty much identified the blueprint of how to play you and beat you. And since that show, he did not change anything. So I'm just going to give you a scenario now. The fact that he didn't hire a set piece coach, everybody's going to see that. And everybody's going to see that, for example, today in Bayern Munich, you can a basic analysis will tell you that the back post of Spurs is always completely empty. So Arteta, let's say when you play against a better team with a better coach, with the signings that he has made, Calafiori, Marino, probably next week, that are much taller, that are really dangerous in the air, Arteta's going to watch this, and he's not going to make any adjustments on set pieces. And every single coach, you mentioned Everton, Sean Dyche is going to watch this. And they're going to exploit this time and time again whenever they play you. And he has not done, I have not seen one wrinkle or change in the way, because that back post exploitation is the same as last season. And on corners, I guarantee you, if you do the same tactics again, Arsenal are going to score at least 2 set piece goals. Man City
dealing in semantics now, man. Today, when we played those first half, we played the back four, makeshift back four in the first half. We didn't play our first. We never had our first defensive.
You played with Poro. You played with Draxton.
But Mr. 6 Yard Box,
the
our
only
problem today wasn't the back four.
The back four isn't the problem.
When the ball got through all of our the ball ran through our midfield with ease, and then got to the back four. And if anything, they kind of dealt with it okay, not great, but as much as you could on the out wide, the wide open spaces. It's not easy. And when Van de Ven and Romero came in, we had the same problem.
Yeah. All preseason, we've been so wide open, like a European brothel. Like, I couldn't imagine what Leicester City's gonna do to us. It's not a guaranteed victory. Like
it doesn't work that way, man. We've seen preseason whereby we go out and we smash teams. I remember Manchester United.
And it's not based on the preseason.
They won all their games and they lost 3 games in a row. You can't judge anything on preseason. That's all I'm saying.
It's not based on the preseason.
Even if we win all our games in preseason, even if we win and everything is perfect in preseason, I tell you, first game of the season, we get smashed by Leicester, we're going to be having the same conversation. So,
but you're Mr. Starbucks, you're not listening. It's not that we're losing in the preseason. Nobody here cares about wins or losses. The problem is we're seeing the exact same problems in preseason that we saw all of last year. And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm saying
we haven't brought in any players to make adjustments.
That's a different conversation. I'm saying it's okay to make the mistakes in preseason. Make the mistake in preseason. Don't make it when the season starts. If we against Leicester, if we defend properly against Leicester, back post covered, everything is covered, I'm happy.
But you won't.
I don't care. I don't care about.
There's no reason to think that's going to happen.
So here's the
reason.
All right, 6 Yard Box.
We will never know until Monday, isn't it?
6 Yard Box.
We will know because we saw what happened every game last year.
Two things.
We saw what happened in the preseason, and we haven't done anything with players or tactics to change it. So now you're saying that it's magically just all of a sudden going to happen on Monday.
Okay. Let me.
Okay, we can have this conversation. We can have this conversation on Monday. On Monday, we can have this conversation. If we concede goals,
hold on. I'm gonna have to mute you. Hold on. One thing I do want to say, Ashley, the chat, the link is on the chat. If you have a camera, Ashley, I would love for you to come on. I would love for you to come on and have your say. The link is in the chat. I will.
Maury.
The second thing, I want to say, I want to bring up of a concern, and I've been saying this for like 5 weeks. I'm concerned about the midfield. Number one, so many turnovers, and Harry Kane should have scored. I mean, literally, he missed that. But it's not only him; it was many other players. It could have been worse. The last preseason game, it was the same way. I feel that we are going to give teams, even the victories that we have, so many chances to score because our midfield can't keep possession. Like literally no one. And I'm even including Madison a little bit because I'm just like, I'm not satisfied with
Mari, can we have a special discussion about Madison? Because I know you guys are gonna say I'm a conspiracy theorist and an Arsenal fan and this, but he has looked completely uninterested in all of the games.
Stefan, haven't all of them? Haven't all of them looked complete?
Porro has looked into it. You know, Bergvall,
because Porro's got.
trying.
No, but hang on, Stefan. There's a huge difference, right? I don't know if any of you saw the interview Paul Scholes gave the other week about Ange's tactics, where he turned around and he said, like, if I'm playing in attacking midfield and all these fullbacks are coming into my area and all these midfielders are pushing into my area and these strikers are dropping, he said, I'm telling them to F off. He said, that's my space. That's where I live. That's what I do. Spurs have got everybody going into where James Maddison is. We're the only club in the world with a playmaker who we don't actually let be a playmaker. But just before you do that, Stefan, sorry, I just wanted to, Murray, before we talk about the midfield, and this kind of backs onto it, I always hear this excuse that we haven't had the best four out, right? So just in the background, I've just put some facts and stats together, if it's okay to read them out, Murray.
Yes. Yes.
So all of this crap that it's pre-season, we'll find out what we're about against Leicester. Will we? Against a promoted team who we should be beating. We won't find out who we are against Leicester. Let's be brutally honest. And even their wingers will be licking their lips about playing against Spurs.
Yeah,
but
Zaha might be playing, so
yeah, Fatua and Mavididi as well. And if I was Leicester, I would sit 10 men behind the ball, and all I would do is wait for Spurs to give it away and break with Mavididi, Fatou, and Jamie Vardy, and they would score goals for fun. Here's a little stat for you. So when people go, oh, you're just judging it on pre-season. In the last 20 Premier League games that we've played, right? Let's have a little guess around the panel. How many goals do you think Spurs conceded in the last 20 Premier League games, of which Van der Ven and Romero, and Porro and Udogie played 16 of them altogether? 16 of these 20.
I think you kept like 1 or 2 clean sheets, I think, in 2024, from what I remember.
We had 2 Premier League clean sheets in the last 20 Premier League games, which is abysmal.
I'm going to go for Sava
20.
40 goals, 39.
Right, Stefan's going with 39, 40. Alex, how many are you going with?
I'd say 25.
25?
Yes.
6-yard box?
Yeah, I'm going to go maybe 25 as well.
25. Mari?
I'm going to say safe number 25 to 27.
And Scott?
36.
Tottenham Hotspur, in the last 20 games of the season, to tell everybody that this is not just a pre-season problem and that we can't judge it, Tottenham Hotspur conceded 40 goals.
Wow.
4-0.
I was right.
In our last 20 games. So an average of 2, sorry to teach anyone, basically, we averaged conceding 2 goals a game for 20 games at the back end of that season, when most of those games, Van der Ven, Romero, Porro, and Udogie all played together.
All of them played, yeah.
Udogie missed the last 3 games, right? And I think at the beginning of that sequence, I think Van der Ven missed 2 of the games. So on average, we conceded 2 goals a game.
Yeah.
And the sequence of where the 0s and 1s were all against the Burnleys, the Forests, the Sheffield Uniteds, right?
Sheffield.
All of the poor teams. Yeah. You look at our pre-season games, we have conceded 3, 2, 3, 2, 0 to QPR, and 1 to Hearts, who should have scored about 5. if anybody seriously wants to tell me that this is just negative and there isn't an issue with how we defend, this is utter madness. This is the amount of goals relegated teams let in. 2 goals averaged per game. That is relegation.
That's terrible.
I think that's worse than Conte, isn't it? That's worse than Conte's team. And Conte's team was in defence I didn't rate it at all. Didn't rate it at all. And he got the best out of Dyer, Virgil van Dyer, we called him. Yeah. And what is it? Longley.
Ben Davis.
Davis.
But wait,
and Romero.
I can also make. I know people. I'm piling on, but if it wasn't for Vicario, I honestly think you would have broken your record for most goals conceded. I think it's 65 in the Premier League. I think Vicario maybe saved you 4 or 5 goals last season, maybe even more. I honestly would. I remember games against Brighton where he made numerous saves. Against Nottingham Forest,
still conceded 4.
Yeah,
this is in an average Premier League, by the way. An average Premier League last season, by the way.
But
only
Alex,
Man City and Arsenal.
Alex, to give it context, over the season, Burnley averaged just under 2 goals conceded per game.
And they were
Burnley.
terrible.
And Burnley had who? Can anyone name me Burnley's back 4 from last year?
Exactly.
O'Shea, I think, is one of their defenders. That's all I know.
So this is my point. When people at 6 Yard Box say it's just pre-season, surely any top manager is going, we concede way too many goals. How do I tighten this up? What are we working on in pre-season? But we've gone into pre-season and we're as wide open as we are in the league last year. And everyone seems to think that we'll get to the season and magically we'll just stop conceding goals. This guy so far, sorry, I'm so pissed off and I will vent. This guy so far has brought forward upon forward upon forward upon forward and completely neglected protecting that back 4. Yeah. He's made about 13 signings as Spurs manager. 7 of them are forward players. Yeah.
And some of them are just useless.
And some of them are useless, but he has not once tried to buy anyone to sit in front of that back 4 or that is a defensive midfielder, or once said, you know what, Porro, stop playing as a number 10. The Dogie, stop playing as a number 10. But our fans go, oh, this is how it is. This is what Ange does. Well, this is why Ange will get sacked. Because if this was Nuno Santos, if this was Conte, if this was Jose, if this was Tim Sherwood, who averaged letting in less goals than this, by the way, we would all be going, get them out, get them out, get them out. But because it's Ange, he seems to have this hold over this huge percentage of the fan base that keep going, well, I want to see if he tweaks and adapts. He doesn't.
He's only been there, 1 year now. So we want to see these changes in the second season. Let's see if we concede goals. If we concede the same number of goals in the second season, or I don't know, even less, or goals that if you consider a lot of goals in the second season, you want to see improvements in the second season. That's the whole idea. If we can,
what's he done to work towards that? What's he done?
The proof is going to be in the pudding, isn't it?
No, that's not why.
There has to be a reason. There has to be a reason to believe that things. Time is
the reason the manager could come out now and say, you know what, I've got a coach. I'm going to hire a coach. We're going to be defending. If we don't play well and don't play well when the season starts, it's irrelevant, isn't it? There's a
He's not a coach, bro. He's not a coach. He's not a coach. He doesn't make players better. He doesn't. He's proven it.
All right,
no one improved last season.
I'm not going to go into that argument. What I'm saying,
we can go into the argument all day long, but you're saying to us that things are going to change, right? The difference is, right? Last season, it's not we'll see. It's not we'll see. All I need to say is Pochettino with Chelsea and Ange Postecoglou at the start of the year, right? You saw the stuff with Pochettino at the beginning, yeah? At the end, he looked like the master.
When we finished, what was his first season? What was the point?
That's not the point I'm making. No, but
what was his first season?
Who cares?
The point I'm making is, right?
You have to care because it's a process. It's a process. You can't just get to the end of the line. It's a process.
I just can't do this.
It's a process, man. Whether we like it or not, it's a process. It's not going to happen by magic. It's going to be a process.
So 6 yard
We
box.
might
Let
get
me
the
ask
sack.
you then.
We might get the sack, but it's a process. We're going to start all over again, and we keep going around in circles.
Okay,
we keep going around in circles.
But 6 yard box. What people are asking you that again, what you won't answer, what no one can answer that sticks up for this side of things is simple.
Yeah.
We get it. It's a process. For a process to work, no matter whether that's football, whether that's motor racing, whether that's work, whether it's a relationship, you have to see that things are evolving and that you are trying different things as part of that process. I'll ask you the question again. What have you seen from game 10 of last year through to game 38 and now all pre-season? What have you seen that suggests it's a process that is changing?
Well, basically, what I've is trying to bring in players, obviously, to improve the chances of improving the process, because we need players.
No, that's empty. That means nothing. That means nothing.
You need players.
That means nothing.
1, 2.
Who?
The only way we're good, the manager.
No. You said he's bringing in players to improve that process.
Yeah.
Who has he brought in to try and improve set pieces, fullbacks not attacking as much, protecting the back four? Who's he added this summer to evolve that process? That's what I'm asking.
He might not need it anymore. We might see it against Leicester. We might see it in the next 10 games. He might not need a player to do that. They might actually get better when the season starts. We don't know that until the season starts. That's what I'm saying. It's like we're going back to last season. We're thinking of last season.
We're looking at
6 yard box. 6 yard box. Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
So it's a process, yeah. How long's Ange's contract? Is it 5 years or 4 years?
4, I think. Isn't it?
4. I don't know.
So we start here, yeah, and the end goal. Say, for example, the start is here. The end goal is winning the league. Yeah, he's a quarter of a way through.
End goal is winning the league.
Yeah. Say the goal was winning the league.
Who said the end goal was winning the league? Who said that?
I'm saying, because what should be your end goal as a football manager?
Depends on what the club's ambition is, isn't it?
No, as a manager,
depends on what the club wants.
Are we going to pretend now that the goal isn't to win the league? Like, isn't that silly?
Come on. Look, you're trying to let me finish anyway.
Finish.
If I was Ange and I took over, my end goal would be to win a league, win the cup. That surely that has got to be your end goal. Once you've done that is what you're striving for. And just come out and said, I want to win the league. I want to win trophies. I want to. So that's his end goal. Yeah. So if he's got a 4-year contract, we're a year in. That's a quarter of the way process. So he's a quarter of the way through his process. What has changed after him successfully succeeding in the first quarter? You don't start the process and then all of a sudden finish the process, win the league. There's a lot that happens in between that. So what have you seen in that first year to bridge that gap to get to the process?
For me, I know. I understand it's a process and it's going to take time. Yeah, and that the end goal depends on the context. You have to put it in context. If the club gives
okay.
5 players.
The end goal is to get top 4. Let me change that. The end goal is to get top 4. Let's make it like that. So
exactly.
Within 4 years we want to get to top 4. So we started 8th, we've come to 5th. What have you seen change to bridge that gap?
We finished 4th. We finished 5th last season.
So what is
we're getting close to 4th. So that's what has changed. We only missed out. We missed out on top 4. We only missed out on top 4 due to some of the games that we lost. We lost a couple of games. We lost a couple of games. No.
Lose cup final because they lost that game. I agree. Yeah.
No, but that happens. That happens when you have a new team playing a new system under a new manager. Inconsistency. Even Ange said it. He said, "I expect this kind of result. This is the kind of results I expect." He's been through this. He's done this so many times. I'm not saying he's going to win.
Of course, a losing manager is going to say, "I expected to get results like this." Of course, but the thing is, 6 yard box. Have you noticed? Scott's asked.
We've had a manager that wins cups. We've had a manager that wins cups as well. So
Scott asked you. Scott's asked you, James has asked you, I've asked you, and have you noticed, as I started at the beginning of this whole conversation, whenever I ask fans with your opinion to actually give me some context, to give me an answer, to give me a roadmap, right? At work, I have roadmaps. I have to get from A to Z. Now, I'd like to think that the road is always like that, but it's not. You go in and out, and blah, blah. I'm asking you, in this roadmap, what have you seen that Ange has tried to do to address the issues, to plug the gaps that he created, and what players has he brought in to do that? Because so far we've brought in an 18-year-old kid who, for me, should be going back out on loan to Leeds. We've brought in Timo Werner, who was part of the problem last year, but we've brought him back. And we've brought in Solanke, who won't stop the goals and the midfield giving the ball away and us conceding loads of goals. So I'll ask again, without using the word process, without telling me I have to wait until Leicester City, what has Ange implemented since game 10 of last season to try and show us that he's trying to stop conceding goals, that he's trying to get the team to defend better, that he's trying to make us more compact? What's he done?
Okay, you know the way I'll answer that question. If Ange comes out to you now and says to you, okay, this is what I've put in place. I've tried to address it, but they're not doing it. And then we lose against Leicester. What would you say? Would you say he's told them what to do?
Just answer the question. You stop talking about all this other silly stuff and answer the question.
The answer to the question is, the answer to the question is, for me personally, is in the result. If I see the result when we play games, how are you going to judge it? So how do you want to judge him? How do you want to judge it then? How do you want to judge it?
Tell us something tangible that he's done. Something tangible he's done.
How are you going to judge it? I don't understand. How are you going to judge if something is working or not? How do you judge it?
We'll judge it,
man.
Okay, 6-yard box, for example. Okay. So what I think I'm probably speaking for everyone else on the panel. They'll tell me if not. They're all big boys. They're all ugly. They can all tell me, right? No offense, love you all, right? No offense. It's all right. It's all right. You know I love you all. Right? 6-yard box. If I think, and tell me if you guys disagree, if in week 1 of the window, Ange had brought in a defensive midfielder, right? And we'd seen that defensive midfielder start every game of pre-season, and you could see there were tweaks, and you could see how that defensive midfielder sits and mops up, and the goals that we're conceding are going down and down and down. If we could have seen that Porro and whoever's playing left wing back during pre-season sit about 10 yards deeper to stop getting attacked down the wings. If we could see that from set pieces, we don't just leave every single player free to score a header, I think we'd all sit there and go, I get it. He's trying to evolve. We're seeing different things. The problem is 6-yard box. We're sitting and watching all the preseason games. And again, I don't care that we lost to Bayern Munich. I would always put my money on Bayern Munich to beat Tottenham Hotspur. But what we're seeing Vissel Kobe score 2 goals. We're seeing a team, the K-League All-Stars, who aren't even a team that played together, scoring 3 goals, right? Because of the way we're set up. So he has not tried in any of those games. But when you're asked a simple question, your answer is always about the future. I'm asking you about what's he done since game 10 when we started losing regularly. What's he done since then to show us he's trying? If the manager tries and it doesn't work, you turn around.
Well, it's irrelevant if he's trying. If he's trying and we lose against Leicester, it's irrelevant. That's what I'm saying. The result, the only way you will know he's trying is it's irrelevant, though. It's irrelevant. Whatever he does in training, he could bring in Pep. Whatever he does in training, I don't care. The result is in the game. It's simple. That's how you judge him.
6 yards.
It's simple, man. Nobody cares about what he's done in training, how he sets them up, what you see. He's in the result. Next 10 games, 5 games, are we conceding goals from set pieces? Yes. Oh, then this thing is not done anything. If can
I show you that? Can I show you that?
All right, I'm gonna have to mute you. 6 yards. I had to mute you there. What you're missing is, I'm gonna say this. Our first game was against Hearts, right? Listen. Do you know who Gerard Taylor is? Have you ever heard of him?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Have you heard of Gerard Taylor?
What's that got to do with anything? What's the point?
Gerard Taylor had one of his best, should have had one of his best games. He's a Costa Rican fullback, and one of my friends actually knows him. Just came from Copa America, got signed to Hearts. The guy should have had 3 assists. He destroyed our defense. Doesn't matter who's back there. As a fullback, he was able to penetrate on the left, and literally Hearts there. The Korean what I'm trying to tell you is, but listen, 6 yards. Wait, hold on. What I'm trying to say, the tactics, right, allows a player like Gerard Taylor, who no one should rate, right, kill us, right? Right, the tactics allowed him to have a great game that he should have had 3 assists in that game. And I remember all 3 chances. I'm like, oh my goodness, we should really be losing big to Hearts, right? And it's all because of the tactics, right? It allowed him to have enough space to go down on the wings and serve it up to I think it was a Korean striker who missed 1 or 2 chances, literally. And for me, I looked at it as a bad sign going into the season. So for me, I'm not even confident against the Leicester game, right? I assume Jamie Vardy still plays for the team, but you know that meme with that guy is behind the tree and he's going like this? This is Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy's like going
looking like what you said just now is like what you said just now, what you said just now is like you saying, oh, Tottenham playing a lower division side, and in the FA Cup, a midfielder cracks one into the top corner from their side. It's irrelevant, isn't it? It's irrelevant, man. We've seen it in the FA Cup.
How is it irrelevant if that goes into the top corner and you go out of a cup? How is that irrelevant? That's the whole be and end all.
No, what I'm saying is small teams, big teams. Small teams, players from non-league, we've seen it before.
Yeah, but that's not what he's talking about.
That's what I'm saying.
So I don't understand what the conversation is.
So let me. I'll say my point. So I've been on Dan's channel, this channel, and I've said everyone's I've said the same thing. I will judge Ange by his second season. I'll give him that year. I'll give him that leeway. I'll be nice. I'll give him that first year.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but the pre-season is the start of the second season for me because okay, well, it's the end of the first season, then whatever you want.
Because we can win all these games. We can win all these games.
Let me finish. Whatever you want. Whatever. Let me finish. So for me, how the season works for me in my brain, you have pre-season, you start your season, you have your break, you have your pre-season, you start your season. So that pre-season is the start of the season. That's how it works for me. That's just, not everybody.
People will say different. Some people will say different. So
for me, I've said the same thing the whole way through. I'll give him to the second season. And the one thing I actually disagree with Sava is Sava says if we brought in a number 6, I could see where we're going. For me, I would understand if he brought Gray in and started Gray at CDM, if he played Skip at CDM, if he played Højbjerg at CDM, I could go, you know what, he's trying here. He's trying to do the right thing. No. Whether they're good enough or not, that's a different kettle of fish for me because that goes to Levy. But if he's put in players,
James, that's not trying.
If he's adjusting his formation,
doesn't try.
No, but I mean, from last season, I'm talking from the start to where we are now. If he was bringing in Skip and playing him CDM and dropping the line 10 yards, that for me, I would say, you know what, he's adjusting and he's trying to fit in. Whether the players are good enough or not, that for me isn't what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to say with him tactically, if he's saying, you know what, Skip is the best I've got, Skip, you need to drop right deep, sit in front of the back 2. The back 2 need to drop 10 yards and we'll see how we get on. Today, for me, was the biggest worry to see he's changed absolutely nothing. Nothing. And the fact that he keeps starting the same midfield, they keep starting Basuma, he keeps starting Maddison. To be honest, Mikey Moore, Jed Spence, Donnelly, they've been our best players in pre-season, yet none of them are starting or they're in a mismatched team. I don't get it. I don't.
Hang on, James.
I don't understand.
When we talk about Donnelly, Mikey Moore, you've got to remember there's a huge difference between coming on in the last 30 minutes of games
I know.
against Vissel, Kobe and Hearts. And this is why, right? What makes me laugh, people like 6 Yard Box, right now. Sorry, I know he's not there. He's kind of there, right? When we say things like pre-season don't matter, right? Let this sink in, guys. Pre-season don't matter. It doesn't matter that we're letting all these goals. It's not what matters. It seems to really matter when every one of our fans is saying that we've got the best youth players in the world because of pre-season. It seems to matter when we're talking about, oh my God, look how good Mikey Moore is today because he had 20 minutes against Hearts or whatever and scored a goal against Hearts' B team. As soon as it goes the other way, as soon as we go, hang on, this looks worrying. It's only pre-season. Hang on. It can't be this is good because it's pre-season. This is shit because it's pre-season. The whole point of all of this is that 6 Yard Box isn't getting. It's not about if we win every pre-season game or lose every pre-season game. The older fans on this panel will remember in 2008 when we just won the League Cup.
Yep.
And the pre-season under One Day Ramos, I seem to remember we beat Roma about 7-1, something like that. We battered Middlesbrough 6-0 or something. We were battering everyone. We then started the season and got 2 points from our first 8 games. He got sacked. Harry Redknapp came in. So I don't care about pre-season results. What I care about is, are we looking at a club and going, he's learned and he's doing some things, some small tactical changes. But instead, it actually looks, and I don't know if anyone will tell me I'm wrong, it actually looks like he's gone the other way. It looks like we've gone even further up the pitch and left even more spaces behind. And the Hearts player that Mari's talking about had 4 gilt-edged chances in the first half. It's not about if Hearts beat us. 4 chances in the first half because we can't defend. They were gilt-edged chances, and we're not doing anything 6 Yard Box to try and mitigate that. We're not doing anything.
Well, I'm not sure if it was Scott or... Oh, sorry, Dan.
Okay, well, evening, everyone. Anyway, just got back from the pub, so I thought I'd jump in and say hello.
Hey.
The thing is, I agree with a lot of people in the aspect you've got to give the manager the second season, yeah? But the problem I've got with him and the problem I've already got with the second season is his first season was meant to be this season of where we see him mess about with things, where we see him try things, where we see him try a player there, a player here, or a different tactic there, or a different style there, or just mess about with it. Getting kicked out the cup so early, 100% his fault. 9 changes in one game, most stupid thing, one of the most stupid things I've ever seen a manager do. And we didn't really even see him mess about with anything. After 15 games, me and I'd say most of the panel on here and quite a few of the chat sussed out that, hang on a minute, mate, your zonal marking ain't working. He did not change anything with that, even when it got brought up to him on bloody TV.
Yeah.
Until what? Are we talking game 35 or game 36? And then he realised, hang on a minute, maybe I should just do 2 zonal marking on each post and then man mark. All of a sudden it works. Now, if we wouldn't have conceded those 10 to 15 goals, we could have easily have had another 10 points with that. In the other way that you didn't see him adapting, we was conceding the same goals every game, every way, and he'd done nothing. Mm-hmm. People keep going on about we need a 6. Yeah, we do, but he don't play with a 6. Mm-hmm. So this is one we might as well just not even talk about because, like the word you use, mate, it's irrelevant. We ain't going to get a 6 because we don't use a 6. If I was to see that this manager had any idea of how to play football in the slightest different way, depending who he's playing, or that he's willing to adapt to the Premiership, because this ain't bloody Scotland, this ain't Australia, this ain't flipping Japan, yeah? Mm. I could have some faith in him this season to say, do you know what? All right, let's see what you can do next season. But now when the friendlies come into it, okay, the results don't matter as much. But your friendlies are meant to be like, they're the start of the season. That's where you're already sort of showing what you've adapted and what you've changed because you're getting ready for the actual games. You don't just play your friendlies the same bloody tactics as last season when they didn't work. And then at the start of your first game of the season, change your tactics to your new ones. That's what the bloody friendlies are there for. And he has done nothing. Nothing of the sort. He has not done one thing apart from change that zonal marking bit after 36 games to show to me or to a lot of people that he even understands a different way of football. And the thing I've said to enough people, you give this man the best team on this planet, player for player, he will still never win a league in England, Spain, Germany, or Italy. Why? Because he will still concede 45 goals, 45 goals plus, purely because the best goalkeeper and the best two defenders on this planet cannot cover a back line. You need at least 3 at the back, or you need wing backs there, or you need a DM coming back. You can't have it with 8 other people at the other end of the pitch while you've got 2 at the back sitting on the halfway bloody line. Give him the best team on the planet. He will still never win a league in a big league. He has done nothing to prove that he can change. If anyone can show me something different, please bloody do it.
And I'd add to that, Dan, and say I think he's extremely lucky with the defenders that he's got to hand as well. Like for me, I think Romero's unbelievable. I think Van de Ven's a good solid defender. Udogi looks good. Porro looks good. Vicario has saved our bacon God knows how many times.
But without Van de Ven, James, we're dead, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I'm just adding to your thing. Is if you take those away and put Royale and Dyer in, or Longley, or you're getting relegated.
That's not true.
But James, we saw last year when
that's not true.
We weren't that bad. We weren't
that's
that
not
much
true.
Worse.
That's not true. The facts, again, James. Sorry if this was Scott was alluded to.
If they played in Angie's system, that if you swapped out Romero and Van de Ven,
they did,
and put Roy,
they did, and they conceded on average less goals than Van de Ven and
They
Romero
actually
did.
conceded less goals.
Yeah, they conceded less.
But it was only for about 3. It was only for about.
They only played. They played a couple of games though. They only played 3 games or something.
Over a season, though, I think once they get found out properly over a season, I think that they would. The amount of times that Mickey Van de Ven did save our bacon. If you put Ben Davies in the same position,
for sure. But again, James, that's on the manager's tactics. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he will listen. This guy will ruin Mickey Van de Ven's career. This guy will ruin Mickey Van de Ven's career. And by the way, when Romero leaves next year, and everyone's going, I can't believe Romero's left. Well, I can, because he's playing in a team that concedes 61 goals a year. He's not dumb. He knows I'm part of a defence. Romero is part of a defence for 2 years that has conceded 124 goals in the Premier League.
He's not going to leave because he's won a World Cup with 2 Copa Americas. He's won for the second time as well. Yeah, by the way, right? Yeah. So he ain't staying. He ain't staying. These people that are deluded saying that he's going to stay, he ain't staying. One call from Real Madrid, yeah, he's off. He's off ski like Bell. You know what I mean?
Alex, you're right, mate. As soon as he gets that call, it's baked potato. See you later, mate. He's gone.
Did you see him after like 2
don't want to
seconds?
sell him. If Levy don't want to sell him, he will kick Levy's door off and have him on him not going, to be honest.
Did you see him against their striker immediately coming on, left the boot in, and then threw him to the floor? He don't want to lose, man. He doesn't want to be conceding these goals. You've got one more season to prove a point. Otherwise, why would you?
He's done already, Bob. Because the thing is, though, he's only won 3 trophies already with Argentina. Yeah. What do you think the Argentinian players are going to say in his ear right now? What are you doing at Spurs, Bob?
Yeah. What
are you doing at Spurs? Like he's already got the taste already. He's got 3 major cups already. He ain't staying.
Alex,
players like Timo Werner and Archie Gray coming in.
Yeah.
And then you're seeing someone like Solanke come in. Okay, doesn't seem like a bad player, but he's definitely not someone who'd get in the top 6 team. And Romero sitting there thinking, I've only got about 3, maybe 6 years left on my career. I mean, who knows? I want to actually win something, and Spurs haven't won nothing for 14 years.
16.
And there's all we seem to, and there's all we keep seeing doing is buying youth players now, or bang average players now. He's going to sit there and just think, you know what, I'm off. And if Real Madrid come in, or a decent club, he's going to go, and he'll take Levy's door off if he has to. He's not no Son or Kane. And then Van de Ven, if he has another season like he just did, you can say goodbye to him to Bayern Munich or over to
Liverpool,
Barcelona or something. Udogie, if he has another good season, Bayern Munich will snap him straight up because that's his way. And if anything, you see Porro, I see Man City coming back in for him if he has a solid season.
They're all good.
He's
Dan,
an
this is
impressive.
why
You've got to be honest.
you know when people use the word process, like as fans, we use the word process, right? Do you truly believe that? Not you, sorry, this is aimed at you, Dan. Do we truly believe that the players who have got minimal years as a pro footballer are sitting there going, "I'll wait and see what happens in 5 years"? I don't know how many people have to leave this football club for us to wake up and go, "You ain't got 5 years. You have not got 5 years." And Romero, Van der Vet, Son's gone. For me, Son is on that. Son is on that.
There was a position today. What was that position today where he got played through ball and he's one-on-one and you're thinking, go.
Yeah,
and he pulls it back and turns back and you're like, yeah.
But this is
you can see he's lost 2 yards of pace, isn't he? He's lost 2
Maybe
yards of
6,
pace.
more than
And
fucking
when a
2.
player like Son, who relies so much on his pace, when he loses the pace, he's lost basically, he's not that much good to anyone. Still a brilliant shot on that. Look at Michael Owen. The second he lost his pace, done and dusted.
I agree.
Whereas you go and get other strikers like Harry Kane, who don't rely on pace, you usually find out that their attacking career lasts a lot longer.
But they're good footballers, aren't they? There's a difference between somebody that's a good finisher and a good footballer. Harry Kane is a good footballer. Son's a good finisher. Son is up there with some of the best finishers I've seen. But that's about it. When it comes to the ability to hold the ball, pick apart, play football, he struggles for me.
James, are the top defenders scared of Son anymore?
No.
No, that was the question I was going to ask, because that very first touch, it was a good break. And
they played him through, perfect through ball.
And I'm thinking this season, because, we'll be honest, people have to toe the line when it comes to talk about Son. I try to be honest about Son. Hey, he played well, or he's getting slower, he's on the decline, and he has been, a great servant for our club. But I agree, he's on the other side of the hill. I mean, I say that he can't.
I agree. And what you were saying, Sav, about process, that's the problem. Half of the fans say we've got a process, but 6-yard box we don't even have a finish line. So what the fuck's the point of a process? We're doing a process with no finish line. So we're doing a process to get a process
since we last won a trophy. We've been in a process since we last won a trophy. Sorry to interrupt you, James, but we've been in a process since we last won a trophy. But
there is no process. 6-yard box has just said there is no process. Who's deciding what the process is? I said the end process should be to win the league. He said maybe it's top 4. So what the fuck's the process? What's the point? Process is that stadium is going to be packed, the hotel is going to be packed, the concerts are going to be packed, the go-kart is packed. The process is already fulfilled. It's done.
I don't support the whatever his name is. I don't care about him, to be honest. The way he runs the club is the way he runs the club. Yeah, that's different. What I'm talking about is the process in terms of players coming in, playing with the system, getting better the following season. It's not going to. Some players will get better quickly. Some will get better later. Some might not even get better. They might be shipped out. They might go. They might not fit out now.
Let me ask you a question.
That's what I'm talking about. So
let me ask you a question and answer the question. Don't ask me a question. Answer the question. Yeah. The question is, what is the end of your process? What is the finish? What is the success? Where is the process? Where do you want to be?
For me, I want to see Tottenham win a cup and be competing, whether it's top 4, league, whatever it is. I want to see us season after season. I remember Poch saying something. Poch said something when he was at Tottenham. He said something like, when you keep getting yourself within the door to open the door, which the door in this case is the cup. If you keep trying to get big trophies or challenging for leagues, when you keep doing it every single time, it takes so many scenarios whereby you have to rebuild the teams, players out of form, you ship some players out. when you keep doing that consistently, we just saw Atlanta won a cup after how many years? About 500 years with the same manager playing the same brand of football. You know, so when you keep putting yourself, you have a system in place. You keep putting yourself. I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about different managers.
Sorry, the same,
Stop
same
it,
brand
stop it,
of
stop it,
football as
stop
who?
As
What?
Gasperini.
So when you said playing the same brand of football, what did
Yeah.
you mean by that?
I mean, when you have a manager, you have a system in place. When you play this, you have a system of playing, and you have the manager that sticks with that system through the academy, and you keep doing the same thing, then you are doing what it depends. Some teams, they might be like, oh, you know what? We don't want to play this way. Let's go and get another manager. We don't want to play.
That's the problem. He's playing the same way. He's playing the same way, and we're conceding the same fucking goals.
Look at the difference.
One season. That's what I'm saying. We're playing the same way. Like I said before. I said it before. I said, let's see the second season. Like I said, we are not going anywhere. Nobody's going anywhere. We're not going to.
Before Matic comes in, I ain't waiting, bruv. I'm done. I'm done. I was done after Pochettino, bruv. I was done. So you ain't telling me to back anything, bruv. I'm done. Yeah, that's all I can say. Yeah, that's it. Back to you.
The problem with 6 yards' opinion, though, is what he's saying is the definition of insanity. You just keep trying the same thing, and hopefully one day the fucking pigs fly. That's not going to happen.
But
it doesn't happen in life. If I keep doing the lottery every day for the rest of my life, don't mean I'm going to win it. It just means I'm fucking losing all my money.
Exactly.
Do you know what scares me?
Let Mechanic talk, because he's been patiently waiting. Mechanic, welcome to the show. Have your say. And Steve in the background, you got to put on a shirt. You got to put on a shirt.
See that?
Go ahead,
Hang on.
Mechanic.
Are we all getting?
I know you're putting your face. Mechanic, you got to put a shirt on.
So he's got the hairiest nipples, yeah?
OnlyFans.
Anyway,
You're on, Rick,
guys.
You're on mute.
Bye. I'm gonna go. Hopefully, I'll talk to you guys later. Come on, you Spurs.
Take it,
you know, we all want the best for Tottenham. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
See you, mate. Bye bye.
Maury, can I answer quickly before?
Wait, hold on.
Fix his mic.
Okay, go. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Go ahead, Dietrich.
Yeah, I just wanted to say quickly, like, for me, if people say like give Ange the second season, you know what scares me the most? He's playing the same players than last season, so nobody changed. So the same 11 that we finished with, what, like almost 12 lost, is the same team we're gonna start against Leicester.
What
is gonna change?
Dietrich just said.
So what is gonna change? So if we had, let's say, like new players that are gonna improve their 11, then you see your argument like give him a second season is fair. But I'm seeing the same midfield, the same defense, the same goalkeeper, and the same forwards.
Yeah.
And same tactics.
And the same tactics. So even worse. Actually, it's even worse, the tactics this time.
It's the tactics more than the players, as far as I'm concerned.
No, the players are even let's say, like, we all know we're gonna see Bissouma, Sarr, and Madison, and you saw them again today. They've been horrendous.
I know, but
that's the tactics.
If he'd at least have it as one inverted wing back goes, the other stays back, bring it to a back three, yeah, we'd at least stand a bit more of a chance. It's his tactics. He's playing about five players in the right position, but out of sync.
And do you know one thing that scares me the most? When I saw, do you know when there was a counter attack from Gnabry against Spence? Yeah. None of Bissouma and Sarr started running to help him. They all started walking.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Dietrich there, because I know people are saying like about Ange's tactics, and I agree. But Ange's tactics, the amount of times Bissouma played a 3-yard pass and gave it away. Sarr gets so much credit for the amount of energy he uses, but he's fucking shit on the ball, man. He's so bad on the ball. He gives every 3-yard pass, he gives it away. Puts us in trouble.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dietrich, because I want to harp on this, because I got criticized. Sarr is terrible on the ball. But I will at least give him credit. He tracks back. Bissouma, and I purposely watch Bissouma. Bissouma doesn't like to track back. Does not like to track back. at least Sar tracks back and helps the defense.
But Mari,
Yeah,
can
but
you
that's not
imagine?
enough. That's
Can
not
you
enough.
imagine being a midfielder in this? Listen, I'm not saying no one should track back, but can you imagine being a midfielder in this formation that constantly means you are turning over possession in transition, that constantly means you are chasing your tail?
No,
Like
it's true.
that's the manager's tactics. He's got Basuma as a number 6-ish when he's not a number 6. Sarr is not, for me, I don't care what anyone says, Sarr is not that great on the ball. I think he's a very average player. Yeah. Skip is poor. James Maddison, for me, I don't think James Maddison's a bad player. He's got the skill set. He looks completely disinterested in this god-awful system.
He's got no space as the 10 because there's about 6 other players 6 foot of him.
Dan, exactly. That's my point. The problem is, and again, I'll bring this back to, we can say this isn't on Ange, but of all of Ange's signings, what's he signed? He has signed forwards, yeah, and no central midfielders. The 2 central midfielders this man has signed since he's joined our club, if I'm not wrong, someone tell me if I'm wrong, are Gray and Bergvall, 2 18-year-old kids. If we had anything about us, and this is where people get me wrong on Archie Gray, if we had anything about us as a football club, that 40 million on Archie Gray would not have gone on Archie Gray. That would have gone on a proper central midfielder that comes into the first team and makes us better immediately. But we didn't. We bought an 18-year-old kid that now everybody is hyping up if he makes a successful 5-yard pass, because we didn't go out and bought what we need. So Ange, for me, has to surely tell them, stop bringing me in Timo Werners. Stop giving me Valise, Solomon, Johnson. I need proper midfielders that can play this style. When he was offered a player that played that style, our fan base all turned our nose up. The one player in the Premier League last year who does everything Ange wants in a midfielder, we all turned our nose up that he's not good enough. And he's now gone and played for Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid. Whether you like Gallagher or not, all of his stats and data shows that he is perfect for Ange Postecoglou's constant running, always fit, scoring goals, making tackles, winning headers. Our fans went, oh my God, Gallagher's not better than what we've got, whilst watching Basuma, Skip, Bentancur and Sarr.
Actually, Bentancur played well. I'll give him credit.
Yeah, today, but
well.
Today
no, in general, I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to get Rentic
go ahead.
to come on to speak if his mic is good. But Steve, wait, hold on. Steve, you're in the background. Steve, I need to see evidence. Your shirt. I cannot put you on. You'll get demonetized. I have to see a shirt. I need to see you on the shirt. I'm sorry, Steve. You can be frustrated, but I need to see a shirt. Yeah.
Just put a vest on or something, mate.
I'm happy to see you without a shirt, Steve.
Yeah. Go ahead, I'll channel. You don't have a shirt, bro. I'm sorry. Nice hat. That's hey. But I need to see go ahead.
Not tonight, mate. The snooker's on.
No, to be honest, I wanted to ask Sixyard. Can you hear me well, by the way?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask Sixyard these 2 months because he was like, yeah, we want to keep going, but Sava, you actually pointed this out like on one of your previous streams. Like over the last 10 years, no Premier League winner has won the league without the CDM. City with Rodri, Fernandinho, Declan Rice, Arsenal, but they're close to it, so I count them as well, and Fabinho and whoever, and we were like,
Matic,
Matic as well,
Makalele,
yeah. No one wins.
Yeah, and he wants to try something new that no one has tried before, and like I understood like if like all fullbacks was like staying behind and only the midfielders and the forwards were going forward, but like we have like 8-9 players who go forward and no one no one stays behind anymore. Like that's
even the two centre-backs on the halfway line. You're right.
But Rinketic, you're spot on. There's no one across world football who's winning anything. Look at Atalanta, right? Have Ederson, who plays in that
Proper
role
player.
for them, right?
Proper player.
You look at Bayer Leverkusen. They've got Granit Xhaka and Andrić who sit in there and do that job for them. There is no one winning competitions across Europe. Barcelona have got Frankie de Jong that sat in there when they won the league, right? Inter Milan have got 2 or 3 that do it. No one is winning without that position. And we've got fans but Ange don't want a 6. Sure, well, that's why Ange won't win. And sorry, can I just say, this person in the chat, Boomverse, has said, I don't care, Gallagher is overrated trash. Mari, you're in that WhatsApp group that I sent the stats for Conor Gallagher last week.
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher, right? Now, bearing in mind, I'm not a massive stats person, but Conor Gallagher's stats, he scored more than all our midfield combined on his own last year, right? He got more assists than our entire midfield on his own last year. And he was in the top 7 of every single midfielder stat in the Premier League.
He will be our best.
7 tackles, passes, dribbles, headers won, ground duels won, distance covered, right? Clearances, interceptions. But because he doesn't look sexy as a player, right? I'm not talking about his long blonde hair. I'm talking about because he's not Rodri, because he's not one of them. We all went, he's not good enough for us. He is everything that our midfielders aren't. He is available every game. He scores goals. He assists. He's a captain. He tackles. Yeah, he tracks back. He makes clearances in his own box. I don't understand that when we all sat there and went, he doesn't get in above Bentancur and he doesn't get in above Basuma. And you're like, what?
Sava, the fact we're not even linked to the player that won him a title, like O'Reilly. I get that's good and defensively and good going forward.
Agreed.
A player that won him the league and the treble.
Agreed.
And we're not buying him. We're keeping him Skip.
The club is just rotten to the core. It's just so rotten. I was one of the ones that said, for me, to be honest, I wanted Conor Gallagher. And I said on Brian's channel that for me to see that the club are backing Ange would be them buying Conor Gallagher because he's the perfect player for Ange. Whether you think he's good enough or not, apparently Ange come out and said, this is the guy that I want. Was linked with him for fucking ages and we didn't get him. So for me, the club's just rotten to the core. Absolutely
they have
rotten.
backed Ange. They've backed Ange better than Conte, Mourinho, Pochettino. This is probably the best backed manager we've ever had.
Yeah, but I still wouldn't say they're backed. I'd say this is backed for Levy. I wouldn't say he's been backed. I'd say he's been backed. Yeah.
Financially backed, but not player.
Yeah.
But the flip side of that is, James and Dan, the flip side of that is, have we got any evidence that Ange's player ID is brilliant? Because as I said, he comes from Celtic, where Celtic can go and buy Joe Hart, stick him in goal, and they win the league. No one's buying Joe Hart in the Premier League. Celtic bought Cameron Carter-Vickers, right? Fair play to him. He's made a good career for himself. He's not getting a move to the Premier League at any top team. So how do we know that Ange's ID?
Agreed.
I think his ID is Timo Werner, Brennan Johnson.
Yeah. I think Brennan Johnson is there.
Because Brennan Johnson, how good would he be, James, in the Scottish Premier League? Brennan Johnson would win, he'd score.
It'd be cooking. It'd be absolutely cooking. But
it's a bit alarming that he said Solanke was my first choice striker. I don't believe it.
That was
But again, even if he was, why weren't he signed before the Euros? He didn't fucking go to the Euros.
But that's my point. That's why I think he's just lying.
So that's why it's bollocks. Because if he was, he should have been in there before the tour.
And Ornstein's the one who reported it. I'm like, really, Ornstein? You actually believe that bullshit? That Solanke was the #1 target. 2 months, no competitions for the summer, and you're telling me and Simon in the same chat. I'm like, that is 100% bullshit. And Ornstein, who I think is one, maybe leans on the credible person to top information, puts out there that and says Solanke is my #1 target. bullshit.
But yeah,
And Ange was also the one who said he wants his transfers early. And people on the side do dig at me. Why do you keep bringing up about what Ange said and everything and this and that? Why? Because I'm showing the man credit, because I'm holding the man to his word. And his word was he picks the players and everything else. And if he wanted Solanke so bad, he wants his transfers early and everything. And then all of a sudden, he is now totally 100% flip-flopping on everything he has said, because I think the man has just realised he has bitten off more than he can chew.
Yeah.
But even for
I think it sums it up with the Neto thing definitely as well. That Chelsea gone out and just got it done in it. Really,
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
thank you.
I look at Gallagher. I didn't want Gallagher, but I will accept this. I don't think he's quality. I don't think he's quality skill wise. No, I think he's got the ability and a very good athlete, and that's what Tottenham Hotspur needed. I think that's what I can accept that we needed.
I'll go with that.
I can accept that we needed. That's the sort of players we needed. He's like a Henderson.
I'm not saying he's my number one choice.
No. I get what you've
everyone
explained.
Talks about the number 8s.
He's making you right.
Yeah, but Savage,
Yeah, no, I know.
Savage, you've explained it perfectly. I'm not disagreeing with you. Listen, you've done it perfectly. Absolutely agree with you. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, I don't think he's, for me, not the sort of player that I think is looking great on the eye. He does the hard work, the ugly work. You know what I mean? So that's why I say he's a great athlete, and I think the way that Savage describes him is perfect for Ange's system. Do
you know the difference, Alex? When I say I think we need Conor Gallagher, I don't think that we just need one mid. I've said all summer, I don't know, Dan's been on many streams with me, Mari has as well. I think we need a completely new midfield. I think everyone talks about our midfield. I think it's a huge problem. None of our central midfielders get into any of the teams above us. Not one of them. I don't care if anyone wants to go, oh, Bentancur was injury-free. I don't care. None of them are consistent. None of them get into any of the teams. Villa, everyone last summer, John McGinney's crap, Douglas Luiz's crap, Kamara's crap. All three of them would piss all over our central midfielders. Consistency, always available, get stuck in, drive forward, defend. So my point was, I think we needed a Gallagher in a kind of box-to-box, then with a proper number 6 behind him, doing the number 6 bit, and then allow Maddison to be a number 10. Stop getting James Maddison to play where Porro is and Udogie is, and Son drops in there. And look,
He's got Sarr and Basuma coming up behind him.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
It makes no sense.
Which then, that's the reason why Romero played CDM last year. I was saying in many streams, I said, Romero was playing center back and he was the number 6. That shouldn't be the case, right? You shouldn't be playing 2 positions. Last year, I saw it in many games. I'm watching the game. Like, you do know he's playing CDM. And mind you, when we go back on the counter, right, and Romero is not as fast as VDB, we're screwed. So it's, yeah.
Mari, where did Skip and Udogie play when they came on today? Does anyone know what their position was?
Skip was right.
Skip was right back.
Or Gray. I don't know what he was.
Skip was right back. I know that.
But was he, James? My point is that, like, at one point, Udogie got the ball. He was like right wing. No other club I see has their players in all of these random positions at all times. It's almost like, when you're at primary school, before you've learned tactics. Do you know what I mean? When you're a young kid and somebody drops the ball in and all the little kids at once run to the ball because no one knows, right, I'll drop, you go. Spurs is that. Skips everywhere on the pitch and people go, covered every blade of grass. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing.
Because you're absolutely knackered.
Saba, you did streams with Ashmatic, and please, guys, the Spurs Kings, please subscribe and like. Ashmatic, I love the way he breaks it down. He was on Last Words of Spurs today, and he said the problem he still sees with that midfield, let alone our team, people don't know their position. Their position off the ball is terrible. So it's exactly what you're saying, Saba. Off the ball, right? These players don't know where to go. That's a problem. That is a problem.
I don't think it's just the midfield, though. I don't actually think most of the players actually look. My way to describe this one is at the start of the season, it sort of half looked like they knew what they was doing, and then as the season went on, they got more and more and more lost in what they was actually meant to be doing and lost faith in it. You're meant to see things slightly get better as the season goes on, like with Poch and Chelsea. But we didn't. We started off very bloody lucky, was part of it, and we played okay in a few games. And then from that game 10, when we basically got sussed out 110%, from let's say game 12 then, like we got sussed out, and he adapted. The players seemed to just totally lose track of what they were doing and actually got worse at it. Aren't you meant to get better at your manager's tactics when he's got more time than any other top team, where he had 5 days a bloody week, 6 days a week, whatever, to train them?
Exactly.
Even to the point that Eric Dyer blatantly said out loud, which a load of people said he's probably chatting it. I don't think he was, when he said, as all Ange does is show us play this way. Doesn't practice set pieces, doesn't do nothing else, just gets them to play hardcore that formation that way. Yet the team got worse at it and looked more lost.
You know what we hear a lot is that Ange wants his players to be able to play any position or something, right? He wants it kind of to be. That's why he doesn't use a 6, because he wants everybody to be playing every position, and that's great when that means that when you're City and you have your center backs on the ball, they can play any position because they're good quality on the ball, right?
Yeah,
that's the idea of it. Is that you want everybody on the field to be able to be quality on the ball, press resistant and stuff like that. The problem with us, our players can't play every position, but they seemingly do, so that they're all everywhere, right? Like Sarr, like for example, Sarr is a perfect example. He can't play a defensive midfield. They say, I want an 8 who can do it. I don't need a 6 because my 8's going to do it. Sarr can't go back and be the defensive midfielder. He's not good enough.
Can't.
Neither is Basuma. Similarly, Sarr can't go up and play the 10. So they actually are in everybody else's positions, but they don't have the skill to do it. So it just ends up in that chaos, like you say.
Can I say
that everybody can play every position?
Can I say what's wrong with
Basuma?
Can I say what's wrong with Basuma at the moment? Do you know the reason what's wrong with Basuma? He thinks he's made it already because he made it at Tottenham. Yeah, Salil said it perfectly in another stream, and I think he summed up perfectly with this guy. He thinks he's made it because he's come to Tottenham from Brighton. And I don't think he's got it to his head right now that he's got a lot to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but look how badly he's being managed, Alex.
I know.
The guy is a number 8. If we're going to play that 6, 8, 10 game, he's a number 8 box-to-box midfielder that gets put in the number 6-ish kind of position, and fans are like, oh, Basuma's not very good in that position. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. He's not a number 6. This is what I mean. Ange is playing Porro's out of position. The Doggy's out of position. Madison's out of position. Basuma's out of position. Sarr's out of position. Yet Son's out of position for most of the last
season. They're
out
of sync, basically, aren't they?
They're all out of sync,
they're in the wrong position, but they're out of sync. They're not playing their way. Look at
you know what's worrying about that for me.
One sec.
Yeah, go on.
I'll just say this bit with Basuma.
Yeah, go on.
Basuma can do a box to box, and he can cover a defense for a brief amount of time. But it is his weakest spot. He's best at getting that ball, going forward, and then putting the short pass to the man who can pass it or run with it. When he was at Brighton, he was the most wanted midfielder, box to box, in the Premiership that wasn't in the top 6. Liverpool put in a 65, 70 million. Yeah, he was. Liverpool put in a 70 million bid for him, and that got turned down because they wanted 80 million for him. And he was the most. And when we got him for 30, people went off their head because they couldn't believe how cheap we got such a quality player, because he is bloody good. When he played at Brighton, I watched him play games. He bossed City, Liverpool, totally wiped the floor with us 2 games on the trot, and Arsenal. He can control the midfield if you play him the right way. It's the same as any player. But play him as mainly a box-to-box where he's got to defend on his weakest point, you ain't going to see him do good.
Sava, you know what I was going to say about that, where you said about they're playing everybody out of position and they're playing like skip right back. You know what's worrying about that for me? I'm lucky enough. My son's been in the academy since he's 5, so that's like such a good thing. And when they said to him, for example, they said, right, They said, what was that? They said basically to him, they want him to control the games a bit more, get a bit more stuck in. So they moved him from right wing and they played him a season in CDM. Get used to getting the ball, get used to getting kicked, see how comfortable you are on the ball. And then they'll go, right, you go back on the right wing. But we're talking about sort of 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. The fact that we're doing that to professional footballers, shouldn't that have been done 20 years ago in their development part?
Yeah, but the problem is, James, with that is that when you get a manager, and somebody in one of my WhatsApp groups today, he summed it up like this. He turned around and he said, Ange is trying to be such a maverick that he's gone so far beyond being a maverick that now it's confusing everyone, right?
Yeah.
Everyone wants to try and do what Pep's done. Let's not make any bones about it. Everyone thinks they're Pep Guardiola. Everyone wants to invert a player. Everyone wants to turn a right back into a centre mid and a left winger into an attacking midfielder and play a false nine. The problem is when you buy players that aren't that, when you buy players that are specialists in their position, that's what you get. Yeah. So when we're buying Kulusevski and we're asking him to be on the wing, beat a man, get crosses in, that's not Kulusevski's game. You see that he struggles with it. When we're asking Skip, I mean, Skip, he's a very average footballer at the best of times, but today he was everywhere and anywhere. Udogie, rather than at the age of 20, Udogie being allowed to develop his play as a left back, rather than saying you're a left back, go and develop your play, learn how to link up with your left winger, learn when to go, when to stay.
Bro.
Yeah, overlapping, right? We haven't done it. That what we've done is gone, everything you've learned as a kid, forget it. Now go and play in central midfield.
Yeah.
And the problem is,
I know. Sorry, bro.
Yeah. Steve?
Yeah,
Steve,
sorry.
Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm just having a conversation with my brother. And
Okay.
he's just saying like, geez.
Yeah, he looks drunk.
There's a lot of bullshit being spoken here.
Well, I mean, look, Steve, I'll have that out with you and your brother-in-law. We're watching this factually in every game. There's a reason why every game, when you're asking someone to pick out who played well today, hardly anyone's actually standing out, which is why we're then going, oh, Bergvall was good. Yeah, we're saying Bergvall was good because no one else stood out. So we're picking the kid and going, he impressed. No one stands out. Steve, when you're saying a lot of bullshit is being spoken, we've got a right wing back we've got a right wing back being played at right back, but being asked to be a number 10.
Well, let him say what the bullshit is.
Yeah.
Go on, Steve. Yeah.
Have you say, Steve?
You know, listen, this is pre-season. You know, Angie is trying out different things.
No, he's not.
Nope.
Yes, he is.
What's different?
What? Name one thing that's different he's trying out.
Let him finish. Go ahead, Steve.
He's trying out different things. The formation's been different throughout pre-season.
No.
He's trying different sort of formations, different
No, he's not.
positions. Yes, he is. Of course he is.
Who?
Okay, which different formations? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let us just listen. Come back
say what
to me
different formations, right?
Come back to me in 10 games time.
Why should we come back to you? You've joined our stream. Answer the question.
Is he playing? What formation?
Answer the question. Yeah.
What formation has he played in friendlies?
Yeah, he's pissed. He's pissed.
But you know what? Unfortunately, what we've seen there, that is what most of the fan base are sticking their head in the sand. And this is what we're doing. He's not tried a single thing. I'll ask you this. Is Porro being played in position?
No.
Is Udogie?
They're being played in the right position, but they're being played of what I call out of sync.
But
they're
Dan,
not being played to how they play.
Porro was not a right back. Udogie didn't play left back. They were wing backs, right? Yeah. So they're not being played there. Basuma's a number eight that's being asked to be a DM, right? James Maddison's a number 10 who's used to operating in space, being asked to play with about 5 other number 10s in and around him. Sonny, last year, was being asked to play through the middle rather than the left, right? Everyone seems to be out of position. And then at the end of every game, when we're left wondering, well, who played well? What we're doing is we're now going like James Maddison is the scapegoat. For me, Sonny's been crap. Maddison's been crap. Johnson's been crap. Basuma's been crap. Sar's been crap, right? Jed Spence has been crap. He does a few forward runs against QPR and Hearts, and everyone goes, oh, what a brilliant right back. He can't defend. He cannot defend. We witnessed it today. No one has played well in any game that wasn't a rubber, that wasn't a given, Dan. That's my problem with it. And he's not trying anything.
Burval's actually not been too bad, to be honest.
He's looked all right. He has looked all right.
But in saying that, he's 18 years old. He needs a leader around him. He needs somebody that's won around him. You know what I mean? Because he ain't learning nothing off these players.
No,
he ain't learning nothing off these players.
No, we have a leader. We just bought Archie Gray for 40 million. Here's our leader.
It's madness.
It's madness. It's just that's what I'm saying. It's just that fan just sums it all up perfectly. This is why I've got taken off WhatsApp groups, because I say the truth, and then people can't take it. The people can't take it. You get what I'm saying? And it's like they're saying, well, you're being negative for negative reasons. I say, well, no, because I've got history to show this, bro. And this is no different. And like Angie's not helping himself whatsoever. Like I said, I'm not really been interested, but I'm seeing the same things. I was in Jamaica, I was seeing the same things.
Alex, you weren't here when he first came on, and he said some of the same things. And I said it when he came on originally. And it's the same thing with Mr. Benji and everybody in the chat, right? He came on and he said, all you guys are talking is bullshit. And we said, okay, name the bullshit. And he had no answer. Mr. Benji in there, oh, you're just all negative. Okay, then start saying how we're wrong. And when you asked him to do it, they have nothing.
And when you want to debate them on YouTube,
empty words about you're all negative. Okay, explain how we're wrong. And
when you want to debate them on YouTube, they don't want to do it. They bottle it.
No, because they can't. They have nothing.
They bottle it. Oh, and again, like I say, I'm going to mention his name because I love this guy. The Hotspur hippie Paul. This is nothing against him. Because he's got respect for me. And I'll back him every single time. I will not have anybody have a bad word about him. Yes, he loves Ange, and he's explained it. He's done in 20 years. Respect to him. And he listens to me. So I'm not having a go at I'm not having a go at him whatsoever. No way, Jose. Right? But there are people out there that just have a go at me who've known him for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. And they tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Sorry, it just doesn't make sense. And I'm sorry, when I'm seeing the same patterns every single time, it's boring. And I'm sticking by what I say. This guy's walking at the end of the season. I'm sorry, he's done. You know what I mean?
But you can like somebody.
I'm happy to take that right now. I'll tell you right now, exclusive. Thomas Tuchel is going to be Tottenham manager. I'll tell you that for a fact. Big up to you anyway.
I think it'll be Poch.
I'll take Tuchel.
I think so. Coming in as well.
The only thing is with Poch, I don't know if I believe it, but he's the leading candidate to be the coach of the United States national team.
And he ain't going to go for that this year as well. He's a bit better than that.
So I don't know. If he takes that job, he's not going to leave that job.
But Mari,
I think Poch found out under Chelsea. He's not coming back here. He's not.
Poch is the only thing that could save Levy in any means or manner. If this goes tip up with this goes tip up with Postecoglou, which it will, you're going to see some of that other side turn over to that side.
But if he takes that job, do you see him immediately taking the job and leaving? It will look kind of bad.
No, but what I'm saying is there'll be other fans that would usually keep their mouth shut that will actually start rocking a bit. And then Levy has got one hit on his chance to bring some people back and give him some time. And that is if he goes and slaps Poch on there.
Mari, I need to go. Just before I do, can I just say, banging on Dan's point is spot on there. Levy has previous, right? When he sacked Poch, right, he knew everyone would go mad. But it didn't matter because you brought in a serial winner in Jose Mourinho. Whether you love it or not, naturally people are going to go, the guy's a winner. Then when he made a mistake with Nuno, sacked him, and he brings in Conte, serial winner. So straight away, everyone who's angry goes, oh, but it's all right, we've got Conte now. So we've sacked upwards, if you like, right? Then when it all goes wrong with Conte, he's brought in Ange, who brings with him half of Australia, and everyone loves because he seems like a really nice guy, and you'd love to have a pint with him down the pub. So if he then has to sack Ange, like Dan said, it makes absolute sense that he will go back and move heaven and earth to get Postecoglou. And everyone will go, I can't, Poch. Oh, Postecoglou's gone. This chairman. Daniel Levy announces Poch as, Poch is home. He's home. He's one of our own. Come on, guys. We've seen this book. We've seen this film over and over again.
It's like that film you watch when you already know what's going to happen 2 scenes earlier, don't you? You already know it. It's got it written all over it that this is going to happen.
It's like watching the Rocky films and thinking that someone other than Rocky is going to win the fight, right? It's like we know how it's going to go. Listen, I love you all. Sorry if I talk too much, mate. But God, I hate this club at times. See you later.
Take care.
I mean, being a Spurs supporter and watching what happens at Spurs a lot of the time isn't like watching Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones, you can't like anyone too much because anyone can die. Spurs, it is predictable.
Yeah, don't you sum it up perfectly, and you say same Spurs, different day.
No, but at least at least with Spurs, like it's like a roller coaster. Imagine if we were City fans, it's always the same garbage. But with us, there's always something to talk about. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. If you say so, I'd rather the City lifestyle, but
I mean, but with the thing with Poch, I could just seriously see that happening, and I think
if he does do it, though, Dan, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah,
he knows he's going into somewhere. Because if he's saying that he wants a little bit more control of what he wants at Chelsea, and he's been rejected. When you look at what Postecoglou's got, and Pochettino will know that he needs a better squad. He will need definitely better wingers than what we're getting at the moment, 100%, because those wingers are not good enough. You know what I mean?
We don't even need to play with wingers. We don't even need wingers.
But are we looking at it?
Wingers.
Are we looking at it, our box office, from a football fan point of view? Because obviously we've got to realise that this is these guys' jobs. He knows he's almost going to be able, if it gets to that point, he knows he's going to be able to have Levy over the bandstand for wages. He's going to be able to secure him a nice long contract. And at the end of the day, for us, it's Tottenham and we love Tottenham. But for him, it's a job. It's another paycheck, isn't it? Really, let's be honest. So from that point of view, I agree with you. If I was him, I would demand terms and conditions, or I wouldn't sign. But for him, if this is his job, it's like saying, well, you're not going to go do that job, even though that job's paying you 10 times the amount, and it'll give you a guaranteed 5-year contract. Money talks, man. Yeah.
At the end of the day,
imagine if we get Southgate.
I'm looking this from a different. Sorry. James, I'm looking this from a different point though. Like, so I'm doing my badges and everything, and I have a few Spurs fans, and they ask me like, when you're like a pro coach, will you ever take over Spurs? And I always said like under Levy, no, because my career will be ruined before it starts. Because
but would it though? Because if you got offered a life-changing amount of money, so you'd never have to work again, you would say, you know what, I'm not taking it. I'd rather. That's like them saying to me. That's like them saying to me, if you come and play for Tottenham, you're not going to play, but I will give you 300 grand a week for the next 5 years. And me saying, you know what, I'd rather play for Norwich and pay 5 grand a year, because it doesn't work like that. Money talks with everything. If they come up to you and say, this is your wages, you can have whatever you want, tell me what you want, and you're going to go, now I want to stay lower level and grow a little bit, because you may never get the opportunity to go up.
There are some players that do that though. There are some players that are willing to wait and manage.
Very few.
I agree, but I think the fella's got a fair point.
Yeah, because like for example, like I'm doing all this hard work, like all this studying right now and everything, not because I want to be one of them. I want to be a serial winner. I want to be the next Sir Alex. I want to be the next Pep. I want to be the next Klopp or something. And for me, like, I know, like, under Levy, if I want, I don't know, Andrew Onana, for example, like the CDM who went to Aston Villa, he would give me some random, like, guy for 10 million, and Poch has always been under that. That's why I don't think he will come back though, because he knows like if he wants plan A, they will give him like plan C or something.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't. The only thing I would sort of say against that is it almost worked for Poch last time. Cup final, was it FA Cup final, Champions League final? It almost worked. So he may have in his back of his head, look, I'm good enough to get these guys over the line. And money talks, like I said, like he's going to be given. If they fire Ange, if they fire Ange, he's going to walk in like Ric Flair, bowling through there, going, "Yeah, I want as much money as you can give me." And the moment he says no, the fans are going to. Well, I would like to think the fans would have him by the bollocks and say, "Right, that's it, Levy, you're gone."
I want to leave. I want to leave off the show, and I'll start with Dan. Today we saw briefly the return of Harry Kane, and it was very nice what he did. I don't know if you guys know, when they handed the Malta trophy, he refused. Well, him and Dyer were recognized in the beginning of the game with Ledley King as a thank you for service to the club. But at the end of the game where they had the trophy, he refused to hold the trophy up at Tottenham Stadium, just out of respect for the club and his 20 years in the club, ever since his youth. I thought that was just so honorable, and that's the thing I love about Kane. People talk about no trophies whatsoever, but in the game he is respected as a gentleman, as someone humble, and so I much kudos to him for doing that, because I actually thought about it. I was like, oh man, he gets to hold a trophy up back here, even though it's the multi cup. But even that useless trophy, he said, no, out of respect, I'm not going to hold up that trophy. I'll go off to the side. In the picture, he is off to the side. And kudos for Kane for doing that. Any thoughts of just, Kane coming in 10 minutes? Because I even thought, Romero, take him out. I thought about it. He's the enemy. Take him out. But
I liked before that. I don't know if you guys saw the moment where Will Lancashire is standing on the side. Harry Kane walks up to the side with him and almost pats him on the back and say, you can see he's saying, "Look, this did your time. Have a go, mate. Good luck." And that for me, it just reeks class. Like, I know some people are bitter that he's gone, but if that was, again, looking at him in any sort of walk of life or any job, and one of the best that you've ever had comes in and says, "Look, you're going to be all right, mate. You give it your best shot." It's just nice to see, isn't it? Positive vibes breed positive vibes, and unfortunately, in the world in general, there's not enough people like that. So it's nice to see.
But on the sad side of it as well, being a person like that, you don't usually get to the top with a personality like that. Because to get to the top, whether people want to say it or what, you got to be a heartless bastard. Simple as that.
Look at Teddy Sheringham.
Whether you want to be a manager, whether you want to be a player, if you want to get to the top, whether you want to be a businessman, whatever, you don't get there through being a nice boy. Yeah, there's times where you can be all right, but you got to have that cold-heartedness in you.
Arrogance.
Yeah, whether it's arrogance or whether it's just you're cold-hearted, simple as that. And Kane should have refused to step foot on that pitch at Spurs ever again when Man City went for him and we was piss-balling about and selling him and then refused to sell him and that. If he would not have stepped foot on that pitch again and said, "I refuse to go until you sell me to City," I wouldn't have held anything against him, because it would have just shown to me that the man's got more ambition and we'd already have had top out of him, and I would not have blamed him in the slightest.
And he would have won a trophy by now.
Oh, yes. And
he would have won a trophy by now.
Yeah, I wouldn't have blamed him. I just would not have blamed him for that. Kane is he's a nice person. But one thing I will say with what you said there, Mari, like he refused to hold the little cup up or whatever, yeah. I bet you if the Champions League final was at Tottenham and they won that, I bet you he'd hold that up and kiss it, mate.
No, because he needs to win. He wants to win. He wants to win. He needs to win. It's like, unfortunately, he's come across like a loser. And it will be a crying shame. Like I said, Jamie Vardy is more decorated than Harry Kane. Henderson is more decorated than Harry Kane.
Yeah.
Let that sink in.
But give it time, he's gonna win at Bayern.
Yeah,
he'll win
Don't
all
worry.
the trophies and it'll be meaningless. Like he's gonna
He'll-
win. He'll win a couple of
no,
Bundesligas, and the people that want to crap on him will say those don't matter because it's a tin pot league, and those that know his quality will say congratulations, good for him. But I agree with James. I think what it showed today is just what a class individual he is, and I understand that it's hard. It's hard for us as Spurs fans because we want to see him have success here. But he didn't kick up his feet and complain when he could have. He left in what I would say is a respectful manner. He did everything he could to try to have success at Spurs. And then today again, it just showed. I really like the same thing like you said, James. When it was kind of a little move, but when you saw him reach across, like it's a nothing move that probably really made a big difference in that kid's. Is it Lancashire you said? Came out like how great is that for him?
He's a perfect idol. He's someone that you'd want your kid to look up to.
But I think it'd be better. I think it'd be better if he had trophies behind him as well. That's the thing. I'm not saying
he'll get them. He'll get them.
Stop it.
That doesn't change him as a person, though, does it?
I'm not saying it doesn't change him as a person, but the point I'm making is, unfortunately, it puts you up there. You know what I mean? That respect.
But he'll get them, Alex. He'll get them at Bayern.
Hopefully he does. But unfortunately, Scott, Scott, listen, mate, you're straight down the middle. I respect you, bro. You know what I mean? Because you get a lot of flack for no reason, as far as I'm concerned.
Because
yeah?
he deserves it.
Right? Because you back me as well. But the point I'm making is, right? If we're going to be ruthless, about it, and he knows this himself, right? He needs trophies. Yeah, regardless if it's Bayern Munich or not.
Yeah,
I
agree
needs
with you.
trophies. He needs trophies because that gives him a little bit more.
And on top of what you said there, Alex, yeah, one other point with that quick, yeah, he can't sit on that with them big boys, even if he scores 1,000 goals in the Premier League. He can still say he's been quality, but if he don't win a cup, I'll give you an example. Let's bring Arsenal into this, yeah. What have Arsenal actually won that Spurs haven't? Nothing. They've just won more.
The Premier League?
No, the Premier League's
Spurs
just a
never
different
won
name.
the Premier League.
No, are you telling me the Coca-Cola Cup and League Cup are different cups? They're the same thing, different name.
Well, you can. So it's a different. They have.
It's a different name. It's a different. It's a league. It's just a different name. My point I'm making is the thing that really gets on their nerves is they can't be considered one of the true big boys. Why not? Because they can't sit there with Chelsea. They can't sit there with Man U, Man City, Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, Aston Villa, Dortmund, Munich, AC Milan, Inter Milan, and the list can go on and on and on because they have not got that Champions League.
The only thing I would
Europa League. They've never.
Yeah, but I think that's quite. I mean, this is where I disagree with Alex, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that. So was it the Euros where Saka missed his penalty? Was it Saka and Jordan Sancho? So you're telling me if they both scored and we won the Euros, Harry Kane would be world class, but because them two missed those two penalties, he's not world class.
He's got a trophy behind him. That's the thing. It makes.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. From my point of view, so if Sancho and Saka scored their penalty, Harry Kane's world class. If they don't, Harry Kane's not world class.
No, but
that for me just doesn't.
He's at that elite level though. He's got that elite level.
No, but Alex.
Yeah, but trophies is not down to one player. The trophy is down to a team. You can't always blame one player.
This is where we're going downhill here. The point is, unfortunately, top players get you through games. It's simple as that. Top players get you over that line, right? This is why the greats, like the elites, are the elites for a reason. Yeah. So this is why I look at Teddy Sheringham. Teddy Sheringham was not a nice guy. Not a nice guy. Yeah, but he knew how to get the job done. Yeah, he could get people working with him even though they couldn't stand him. Asked Andy Cole. Yeah, but he would get trophies every single time because he knew what to do and he knew how to do it every single time.
And he played on teams that were good enough to win trophies.
But still, he was ruthless in the mind. Unfortunately, Scott. Unfortunately, this is the reality. Unfortunately, in life, right? You have to be ruthless to get where you want to get to. And unfortunately, with Kane,
I'll always say you can criticize Kane for not leaving Spurs earlier. But like James said, if other players do something, he has a Euros. Like he made his penalty. He played. He was the best player for England in that Euro final.
Okay,
and then
but he
other
didn't get the
players
job done.
missed his.
Yeah, but that's
He didn't get the
from
job
my
done.
point of view. Yeah, that's like saying your co-worker fucked up, so you ain't good at your job because they fucked up.
I know,
Like Harry
it's
Kane
harsh,
scored
he didn't get the job
but
done,
it is
though.
what it is. I'm
It is what
with
it is.
Alex
No,
on this
yeah, I
one.
disagree, man.
is.
So if Saka and Sancho score, Harry Kane's world class. But because
Okay, so
Saka
are you saying the
and
same thing
Sancho
if Drogba was
didn't
doing the
score,
same thing?
No. So if Harry Kane comes back to England and then scores more goals than Alan Shearer, yeah, you go and put him and Alan Shearer next to each other. Who's considered that? Who's still considered up there with the top dogs? You won't say Harry Kane
Depends who you
straight
ask.
away. People in general will say Alan Shearer first because he's got a title behind him. If Kane hasn't won anything, he just won't get the respect he deserves. We all know what you should, but what happens are two different things in life. I should be able to leave my front door open and my bloody car open, and I can't.
I think
just the way it is.
I think
it is what it is.
I think the both can be true in the sense that I get what Alex is saying in the sense of when you speak to like people outside of Spurs circle and stuff, right? And people could point out to a game where, oh wow, this person took control. You know, there's a game where Zidane singly took the team on his back, like say, hey, we're gonna win this for Real Madrid. Hence Real Madrid. You know, you see moments where Maradona, Messi, like take the game by the scruff. And I know it's 11 players, but
it's a lot easier when you're playing in Real Madrid and Barcelona than you are at Tottenham Hotspur.
Real Madrid. Yeah, no, that's what I said. I said definitely Real Madrid, and these players have had those moments where it's just like, oh man, they, you know, even the other day we're talking about Gareth Bale, that wonderful, you know, scissor kick goal that he did, you know, Del Ronaldo. But then Ronaldo's have those moments, and when it comes to Kane, it's hard to come by especially when you talk to someone who's a non-Spurs fan. So I get it, and then I also get Sancho and Saka makes their penalties. Shoot, he has not one but maybe two European trophies. You know, like so. I get it. I think both can be true, and really, like Scott said, it's dependent on who you ask. It really is. I don't think it's unanimous. You know, like if you say Pele, everybody's unanimous can say, yeah, oh man, Pele, because you know you see those moments.
Do you think Kane would get the credit he deserves then if he doesn't win a trophy?
No, I don't think he'll get the credit. I agree with you there, Dan.
That's my point.
But it depends on what you. But it depends on what credit you're giving him, doesn't it? I think that's the other thing. It depends on what credit you're giving him.
I agree. He's won everything as a player.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
He's won it all. But
am I comparing him to the likes of Messi and things like that? No, because those guys are freaks of nature and they won everything on their own. I'm putting him. I think he's a top striker, and that's it.
If he wins, he won't get the credit he deserves unless he wins something. He won't get it.
But if he wins,
I give him credit. You just said you think he's a top striker, so you're giving him credit.
But you don't get memories for finishing second place, do you?
Yeah.
No, but that's different though. You just said he wouldn't get the credit, but you've just gave him credit by saying he's a top striker. So
yeah, but that's mainly coming from a Spurs supporter. But in general, the majority of people will not give him the credit that everyone, bar Spurs supporters, will turn around and say, "Excellent strike." But he never won anything. He hasn't even got a bloody
next year
League
he'll
Cup
go
or an
like,
FA Cup. I think he will.
If he wins the German league, then do you think that ends that argument?
No,
some people will argue it, but for me, yeah, because he'll have a title behind him. He will have some sort of
Champions League Bayern. It doesn't matter if he comes back to the Premier League with nothing. He's done it. He's won Champions League. Like
no one's winning the Champions League other than Real Madrid for the next God knows how long.
Like, he's won Champions League. That cements it. Like he will get it. I mean, if he wins it with Bayern, there will be no argument.
Yeah. No, look. I do understand what you're saying, but there's been millions and millions of players that have won trophy and they've been absolute dog shit. Like Mertesacker. You're telling me he's better than than the players that we've got now.
I agree, but Kane will not get his due credit unless he at least gets a bloody some sort of silverware behind him with a club. He won't get it. It just don't happen.
Dan, he's got an Audi Cup, mate.
Oh, I forgot about that. Is that
You're wrong?
Is that Audi? Is that Audi or Audi? What one is it? Is it Audi as in AU or Audi as in AL?
You can have both.
Because we seem to do a lot of shopping at Aldi's, don't we? But sadly, the man just will not get the credit he deserves as a whole in general until he has got that trophy behind him.
Yeah, I think if you, I agree.
It's
I think if you don't watch him week in week out, then you ain't going to give him the credit as Spurs fans who did watch him week in. And let's be serious. We see him win games hand on his own. Against Liverpool, against Arsenal, against Chelsea, against Man City when he was linked with them, he come back and scored 2.
But he never turned up in the cups, in the finals.
No, I agree.
He never
I
turned
completely
up.
agree.
When it came to that big crunch, like Alex always says, and I'll back him on this one.
No, I completely agree with Alex there, though.
Crunch,
yeah.
When it came to that big one, he always seemed to disappear.
And when I mean big ones, I'm even talking about, and I'll include the whole team, the games against in the Europa League, right? The games when the games that Spurs are not favored to win is when the team shows up. The problem is games where there's expectation, pressure. The games where we lost to Dynamo, where all we needed was one goal. Their coach was in jail, and that whole team. I was disappointed at the whole team, heads down, and one of many where it was just kind of like, man, we needed someone. We needed a hero. And the whole team, right? I did a whole episode of just our club when it comes to when the pressure is on for especially in the big game, we don't show up. But the games like Man City, where everybody says you're gonna lose, for some reason our team shows up. You know, and that's where we get the Spursy moniker. Yes, I agree with Stell. We're about to hit 4 hours. And we need to go because I am hungry. This is the last game before the season starts. Any last words before we go?
Isn't it?
Yeah, can I say something just quickly? I was so impressed in Mikey Moore when he stood up against Coleman. I was actually super proud.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's what I call like a real player, like that has like, I don't want to say like the bad word, but like he has the bollocks to stand up for himself and his teammates.
Yeah.
So give him praise. Not like
And
the others
Bergvall
who's
did
trying,
that a
like,
few times as well.
Yeah. Compared to the others, like
Both
Sard always hides.
of them are ahead of Gray. In my opinion, I think both of them are ahead of Gray.
Dietrich, you said from day that Sarr ain't got it. You said it since start of this last season that you've been the one who says Sarr ain't got it.
I know it's gonna sound bad, but we have to check his passport. Cause him and Bissouma are not African players. They're not technical. They're nothing. I don't care. I'm gonna say, like, usually when you go to Africa, well, you're always gonna see people with like mad technique, but you see these two idiots, nothing.
Man, Sarr needs to get better on the ball. He's atrocious. Yeah, I'm with you, Dietrich, on that.
Imagine he doesn't even start for his country, and he plays at Tottenham week in, week out for his own country.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, on that note, we will see you. Well, there's a show on Tuesday, and then we will have the preview of North London Towers on Thursday of this season. And then we'll have a post game on Monday night. Post game, I think, for Leicester City. So technically, we could take predictions right now. Let's quickly do it because I am starving. I'll go first. Is the game at home?
No way.
I think it might be. I think it might be. I may have. I have time to change it. I'm gonna say 2-2 draw. Scott.
3-3.
Box office.
3-2 Tottenham.
Okay. Mechanics.
3-2 Spurs.
2. Okay. So everybody has goals. We're leaking goals. Okay, Dietrich's.
If we don't buy a winger or a proper midfielder, it's gonna be 3-1 Leicester, and I'm being nice by saying that.
Dan.
2-2.
2-2. Desmond 2-2, just like me. James.
I was going to say 3-3. Harry Winks masterclass.
3-3.
Do you know, it's another thing that's just got it written on it, isn't it? It's just another one of them
Screamer
ones,
from
isn't
the
it?
halfway line, Harry Winks, yeah.
Notice no
Pocket
one
Basuma.
did a clean sheet. No one took. It's either we draw
We're
or
not
we,
stupid, Mari.
yeah. No one's predicted a clean sheet.
I mean, what did we get last season? What was it? At one point, I think we had 2 clean sheets in about 25 games, wasn't it?
No, you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. We finally had a. I think in the end of the season, it was against a real bad team. We finally had a clean sheet. And that's sarcastic. Yes, we got a clean sheet.
Solanke will score. Solanke will score.
Yeah,
let's hope so.
Yeah. Well, on that note,
Mari, can I add one last thing quickly? Sorry, I know you're trying to wrap it up. I'll just want to say, I hope every single person that comes in here and says, just trust Ange, we're going to be great, all the vibes, we're going to see the fruits of the labor. I hope every single one of them are right. I hope we all finally, for once in 24 years, get shown how terribly negative we are. And everyone that calls us negative finally gets it right. Fans like Dietrich's Kane that ran Conte out of this club. Fans like Dietrich's that don't want any ambition for the club. Finally, they get proven right. But I don't think it's going to happen. So hopefully they're all right. I really do.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Scott.
I agree.
I want to be 100% wrong. I want to be wrong. I want to say trophies are incoming, like that guy.
That's funny.
Trophies are incoming.
Yeah.
I want to be wrong. I do. This is the first time ever I'm coming into the season where I just feel dejected, and we haven't even kicked the ball yet. So
I'm not dejected. I said on my channel, Mr. Box Office TV, the last video did really well, by the way. Thanks to everybody that watched it, by the way. Yeah, watch me in Jamaica, by the way. Yeah, and enjoying sun and seeing sand and ladies as well. Like I said, every single time.
Nice.
By the way, seeing my brother being a player as well. By the way, big up to him. But anyway, moving on. But the point is, yeah, right. I'm saying the same thing I said before. Yeah, and I even saw someone famous. Not gonna say you have to. That's a spoiler. The point is, yeah, right, is that you know, like I said, I'm still Ange out. And I still think he's walking at the end of the season because I ain't seen nothing different, and that's it. And I ain't stupid, and I ain't silly, and no one's gonna change my mind, and that's it. And it's all this club now to get me back on board. You ain't gonna do it because you're gonna sack your guy that was the 7th choice last season, and you made out that we got our Tottenham back. Well, you got our Tottenham back, all right. The same old thing, like Dan says every single time. Same Tottenham, different day, and that's it. Back to you, Murray. I'm done. If you don't know, get to know.
I can say better myself. I was jealous you were in Jamaica, man. Yeah, you look good. You got a good tan, my brother. On that note, we are out. Levy out. Come on, Spurs.
Big up.
Big up.